Raiders take on the third-ranked Cornhuskers. Hi, everybody. Joel Myers along with James Lofton, and welcome to Lincoln. Tonight, two of the highest-scoring offenses in all of college football. Two of the best quarterbacks as well, and two quarterbacks, James, I think you could probably say are exact opposites. Cliff Kingsbury gets it done through the air. Comes in tonight 5th in the nation in passing. Eric Crouch, on the other hand, he is 3rd in the Big 12 in rushing with 96 yards a game.
Now, they may be different, but they're a lot more similar than what they appear to be on the surface. Both of them get by on supreme decision-making. Eric Crouch makes those decisions mostly with his feet. The last 3 weeks, he's been over 100 yards rushing in each ball game. And if you add it up on the side, that's 9 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. And Cliff Kingsbury, well, he's going to depend on that strong right arm. Last week, he's coming off of a 400-yard passing game. And really, it's more of an option passing game because he has the option to throw the football anywhere he wants. But one thing, don't sell Eric Crouch short on his passing, and don't tell him that either.
Well, if he gets the opportunity, threw only 9 times last week as opposed to Kingsbury. You get a sore shoulder just watching him. He averages 47 yards or 47 passes per contest. Joining us, third member of our team, Eric Clemens. Eric.
All right, Joel, thank you very much. You know, that power running attack synonymous with Nebraska football has really taken off over the last few weeks. And, of course, it all starts with the offensive line. Left guard Toniu Fanoti leading the way there. The junior massive man. Look at the performance of the last 3 weeks. 412 yards, 5 rushing TDs against Mizzou, 359 yards, 6 rushing TDs against Iowa State here on Fox Sports Net. And last week against Baylor, 641 yards with 4 backs over 100 for the day. Tonio Fanuti and company really paving a lot of holes for that Nebraska power run game. Now, Nebraska and Texas Tech are just about ready for the opening kickoff here in Lincoln.
College football Saturday
on Fox Sports Net.
on Fox Sports Net.
Go, baby. Big game today. Texas Tech coming to town. We're going to make them leave on a bad note.
Red included. Big Red. Texas Tech head coach Michael Eads trying to pull off the upset tonight. Coming off arguably his biggest win since taking over as the Red Raiders head coach last year. Beating Kansas State, a ranked opponent last week. Frank Solich, 4th year since taking over for Tom Osborne. 23 years he's been to the program, 19 years as an assistant. Josh Brown won the place kicking job over to Angeles just about 3 weeks ago. Coming into the Iowa State game, he'll kick it away. Young man from Foyle, Oklahoma. Ivor McCann, who's back deep. He's got a 27-yard average, but it's not going to be a factor to start. Yes, it will. 8 yards in, he brings it out. Across the 10, look at him go. What a move. He's got 27 plus the 8 in the end zone.
That's pure attitude right there, bringing
what
that
a
out.
gamble. And he really makes a statement early, James. That's a good point. Offensively, Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week, Cliff Kingsbury. He can see over the line at 6'4". Erickson, Gandy, Cecil, Richards, and Keck. Beefy guys up front, not like Nebraska, though. Williams, the single. McGuire will occasionally be back there. Roberts, Page, and Francis, the wide receivers. The Kia Harris starting offensive 11. And now Cliff Kingsbury. Number 1 in passing and in total offense in the conference. Welker on the edge. Good run on first down. Good yardage out to the 34. Ripped down by Erwin Sweeney, the senior defensive back from right here in Lincoln. First 11 defensively. Kelsey, Clatton, Slechta, and Adams. A group that's been getting to the quarterback. Shanley, former Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week 3 weeks ago with Burrow and Vedral. Experience of the linebackers. Craver and Gross, 2 of the best corners in college football. And Booker in the backfield along with Amos. And you'll also see Phillip Bland. Ricky Williams is the single. They're trying to set up the screen and over the head of Ricky Williams. Well defended by Vedral. The linebacker really, he spied him.
But Kingsbury is pointing at Vedral because he's holding Ricky Williams. Wouldn't let him out on the screen.
Vedral, the senior from Gregory, South Dakota. This is his first year as a starter. Frank Solich trying to combat what Kingsbury was doing with the offensive backfield.
You have to, constantly.
He was trying to work the official over there. So now 3rd and short to start the ball game. 3rd and 3 for Kingsbury. trouble. Will he run for it? Not close. He wanted Mickey Peters. And boy, Kingsbury, this is like last year's game. He was on his back a lot against Nebraska.
He really was, and you mentioned, is he going to run for it? Because that could be the component that would really change all the coverages that Nebraska has. If he's able to just take off and go for the 3 yards. Right there, he hesitates, trying to find someone open down the field. Sometimes you have to make the defense respect your ability to run the football at the quarterback position.
Jawan Gross, the junior from the Cleveland suburb of Garfield Heights, waits for it. It hits the back of a Red Raider. Goes out of bounds. It hit the back of Texas Tech's Paul McClendon, the former starter at safety.
Right into that ball. He gave him the 2-yard cushion. Erwin Sweeney's coming down, and he pushes McClendon. McClendon pushes Sweeney into Gross. Now you can do that. I thought you could always do that.
So Nebraska gets it with great field position after the mark-off. The Cornhuskers will have it 1st and 10 at their own 34. Crouch in the offense ready to go.
Solich told me he's going to try and really test the edges in the opening play.
They run Thomas in motion. Throw to the motion man. And Wilson Thomas pulled down very quickly on the outside. And offensively, as Aycock made the play, Crouch, the all-time NCAA leader with 54 rushing touchdowns. Most by a quarterback in college football history. Volk, Funity, Garrison, Rutherford, and Waldrop. Averaging 311 along the front. Diedrich and Davies, Gibson, Wilson, Thomas, the wide receivers. And Aaron Galladay gets the rare start. Tracy Wistrom, their All-American candidate at tight end,
I think
is
that's
out with a knee injury.
Aycock down, though. Starting strong safety for Texas Tech, and that puts a real crimp in their secondary. They just moved him into that starting position a week ago.
They moved Curtis over to the free safety. When we asked the coaches about it a couple of days ago, they told us after the Kansas game, they had 200 yards of offense after contact, and they put in 3 new defensive starters, James. They also put Mike Smith in there at outside linebacker, brought in Clayton Harmon at defensive tackle, the true freshman, and Aycock, the young man who's down and hopefully not out. Hopefully maybe just got the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, they've done some juggling in that secondary. I saw Anthony Terrell, number 3, come onto the field. He's more of a pure free safety, so that would mean Kevin Curtis would have to move back to a strong safety position. When you're playing that free safety against an option team, that guy is really free to make the tackles against the quarterback.
Aycock is the big hitter. He replaced McClendon as they move Curtis over, what you were just talking about. McClendon's the speed guy in the secondary.
And I think when Aycock asked him about were they going out to eat some dinner in Lubbock after the game, they said, well, son, maybe you... He looks okay, but, I mean, he's a little bit groggy. He's getting off on his own.
You know what it looks like? You remember last week in the pros, Kurt Warner just got the wind knocked out of him. Came back a couple of snaps later.
You know, when you get up, you're seeing like little black dots in front of you. And he's not feeling great right now.
One to each side. Diedrich is the single. 2 tight end formation for the Huskers. 3rd and 7, or make it 2nd and 7. Darren Diedrich chopped down with a loss. Good penetration.
Nice play by Clayton Harmon. Really got off the ball well.
Penetration by Lamont Anderson as well defensively with those substitutions, the changes. McKinney, Anderson, Harmon, and Hunt. Hunt, the sack man up front. Smith, Fluchinson, Hawkins, Johnson, Hanson on the corners. Curtis and Aycock, feel like an Evelyn Woodspeed reader, are in the secondary.
There's Flugin. See him getting in there. It's really about those defensive tackles. That's where your defense starts.
3rd and 8 after the loss of a yard. Now, will Crouch be able to convert? Going for the home run ball. Thomas had it batted away. Joselio Hansen, the junior from Los Angeles, timed it perfectly.
Eric was a little late throwing that football. I mean, it traveled 55 yards in the air, but just by pumping it. This is a formation you're not going to see them back in very often, and you don't see them on 3rd and 8 very often either, but he's back in the gun. Let it go now. Just a second late because his receiver gets open, but it gives the defensive back a chance to get back in on the play.
Wes Welker going back for the punt. Kyle Larson One of the best in the Big 12 with a 44-yard average. Wobbler over to the far side. Welker on the hop. He's got speed. Can he get a block? Yes, he does. There he goes. He's got a wall on the boundary. He may go the distance. Past the 30. Needs a couple of more blocks. Will he beat him? Yes. Inside the 10. And he dives for the touchdown. Wes Welker. The big play.
The punt being returned by number 27, Wes Welker.
What a block downfield by Marcus Boyd.
Now there's a flag down inside the 10. I think that would be a late hit or maybe celebration. We had a couple guys come off the sideline. A terrific job by Wes Welker. Number one, just to catch this ball because it looks like it's going to bounce further down the field. He catches, but once the wall gets set up, there it is. No one on that side of the hash. Wes Welker.
Touchdown stands. There's an 18-yard penalty for sideline interference on Texas Tech.
There you see kids coming off the sideline down here at the bottom play, and that's where the sideline interference was. But a great play by Wes Welker. Number one, just to field that ball. Most guys would get away from it, but he's trying to stop it from rolling inside the 10, get 7 points the other direction.
Sophomore from Oklahoma City. Boy, what a confidence booster.
And I talked to him before the game. He played at a small private school, Heritage Hall. They played in the public school system. They said it was such a huge jump coming up here. And here's a guy who played a lot as a freshman last year.
So now a longer extra point try. Treese is 20 of 20 this season. It is going to be a 35-yard extra point attempt. And it's just inside the upright. What a beginning for Texas Tech, quieting this crowd, a 245th consecutive sellout of 77,000 in Lincoln. Record as the head coach of Texas Tech, coming off a monster win last week after back-to-back losses to Kansas as well as Texas. Double overtime as a crusher at home against Kansas. Now an early 7-0 lead. 7-0 lead for Mike Leach. 2.5 minutes gone by in the opening 15 minutes of play as Larson kicks it away. Davis waiting for it. Out of the end zone it goes. And Nebraska's going to have it after going 3 and out. 1st and 10 at their own 20. College football Saturday on Fox Sports Net. Brought to you by
Texas Tech. Told me, he said, we have a stinger defense where we're going to put all 9 guys up on the line of scrimmage. You may see that soon. Jim Crowden.
Diedrich slants through the crease. Big yard at 7 on 1st down. Working against the defense, James, that is 9th in the Big 12 coming in, giving up 203 yards a contest.
And Greg McBacken said we can't just line up in front of these guys and let them know where we're going to be every play. So it's about movement, about giving them different looks, but it really is penetration. They've got to penetrate and try and disrupt things in the backfield.
7 on 1st, 2nd and 3. Crouch. What a shot. 96 yards a game. He's got a 1st down, picking up 8 out to the 35.
You got your best tackler, Lawrence Flugents, against the best running back on the team. I said running back because he's also running back, Eric Crouch. And that time, Flugents tries to come in, get an arm on him. An arm is not going to bring down Eric Crouch. A lot stronger than he looks at 190 pounds.
He had over 100 yards rushing last Saturday in the win over Baylor. Diedrich, boy, he's tough. Power guy, wears opponents down, maybe bring in Thunder Collins a little bit later, their home run threat.
It's a very nice 1-2 punch between the two of them. But the hitting has started early in this ballgame. I mean, you can hear it. Just lucky you don't have to feel it, though.
Gain of only 3 for Diedrich. Darren had 137 yards on 20 carries last Saturday. They'll keep working them. 2 more. And it's going to bring up 3rd and 5. Let's head to a Dr. Pepper game break now and join Kevin Frazier. Kevin.
Joel, thanks a lot.
Kevin, so now the longest home winning streak belongs to the Cornhuskers in the nation. Diedrich getting outside, barely gets across. He's got the 1st down. Almost an ankle tackle. Kevin Curtis forced him out. Diedrich had just enough speed to get around the corner.
And we have, believe it or not, a late hit on a wide receiver, John Clem, number 19, downfield, blocking this guy late after the play is over. wide receivers don't block late after the play is over, do they?
Will it be a dead ball foul, though?
Dead ball foul, so it could be 1st and 25. And that's what they're discussing right now.
After the play had ended, personal foul on the offense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run.
John Bible, the referee, and that was the key. Was it after the play?
Now, see, my bias is for the wide receiver. I mean, we block a lot, and we don't get credit for it. Now, there he is on Hansen, just driving them out of bounds and just past the strike. But, you know, that's attitude football. But it's going to cost his team now, and he's going to get a discussion from his head coach when he gets to the sideline.
Texas Tech has a 7-0 lead. 85-yard punt return for a score by Wes Welker. Eric Crouch now needs only 1 more yard to have 3,000 yards rushing, 3,000 yards passing. Only the 4th quarterback in NCAA history to accomplish that.
Look at them all in the gaps.
Option Crouch.
Oh, I thought he had a seam there.
He's got 5, and he's across 3,000 now on the ground for his career. Television's most unique brand of football commentary airs Sunday. NFL This Morning on Fox Sports Net. This week, Boomer is size puts Kurt Warner under the cyber strainer. Liz Johnson checks in for the Rams-Jets game. The gang will also take a look at the best hits so far this season. NFL This Morning, pregame show that's not really a pregame show. That's tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, right here on Fox Sports Net.
All this time, I thought we were the most unique pairing.
I agree with you, James. Dietrich into the secondary. They'll catch him. Inside the 30, down to the 27, C.J. Johnson saves the score.
If you're going to come up and try and plug all the gaps, you have no one on the second line of defense. And you see what they did last week. 4 100-yard rushers, and Davies really is just a lead blocking back. But here they're charging the gaps, and there's Kevin Curtis missing a hole in the tackle. You cannot miss tackles against average teams. You certainly can't miss tackles against a great team like Nebraska.
Weather spectacular in the upper Midwest. Game time temperature about 65 degrees. The ultimate conditions in Lincoln. Thunder Collins joining the backfield. Crouch looking to throw. Tight ends available. Touchdown Nebraska. He went to John Bowling.
They give them the power look with the triple stack eye. As soon as you do that, look at the defense all crowded up around the football. No one back deep. The movement of the offensive line says run. Boy, look at that tight end. He's headed to that corner of the end zone. Nice touch pass by Eric Crouch. I told you in the pregame, this guy has a right arm just like the other quarterback has a right arm.
Eighty-yard drive. And now, a penalty coming up against Nebraska. They'll mark it off on the extra point. It'll be 5 after the 27-yard touchdown catch by John Bowling. So the other tight end's getting an opportunity due to the injury to Tracy Wistrom. Brown locks it up at 7. Time out of the field, 9:11 left in the first. All even now in Lincoln. After the long punt return by Welker, John Bowling's second career touchdown reception gives Nebraska their first score of the game. Nissan, Nebraska scoring drive, 8 plays, 80 yards, 3 minutes off the clock, and Nebraska gets it right back. Do you believe it? Covering it for the Cornhuskers. Kelly Cook. Or is it Tim Demereth? It is Demereth. Double numbers. Cook on the other side. It is Demereth. Also, Kelly Cook, 32 on the offense. They've only got 112 players suited up today.
Yeah, but a great pooch kick. They kick it to a linebacker. Know your personnel. They kicked it to number 30, Jason Wesley. Obviously, he's not used to handling that ball. Bragged about how good a running back he was in high school to all his teammates. Didn't show it there.
So Nebraska's got it at the 25 of Texas Tech. Davies breaking free. The fullback tries to break the tie. He's in. Touchdown, Nebraska. Do you believe this?
Boy, I stood with Frank Solich before the game started when we watched Jed Davies warm up and said, this guy, nobody understands how good of a running back he is. He's a great lead blocker, but he just bounced it out of there. I mean, it looked like the play was going right, and then you see this big guy coming out of there going to the left.
Josh Brown. Didn't we just see him? A flag down on the point after. Davies last week had a career day. 119 yards on 12 carries, 2 touchdowns. How often do you see numbers like that from a fullback?
And they're checking out his right ankle down there. You saw him when he extended the ball with his left arm, kind of got his ankle rolled up on. C.J. Johnson was bringing him down.
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat the try.
So longer one now for Josh Brown. Jed Davies, over the first 6 games this year, had 62 yards on the ground.
He had a slow start. He really did.
119 last Saturday against Baylor.
He picked up where he left off from last week.
So now it's going to be a 30-yard extra point try. Tough snap. Great grab by the holder. Joe Crispin did an outstanding job of a snap behind him. 14-7. Thanks to the 25-yard run by Davies. Both guys went down in the first 2 rounds. That's the case right now in Lincoln, Nebraska. But the Cornhuskers knocked them down twice so far. 14-7, Nebraska. Ivory McCann bringing it back from his own 2. Weaving his way. Using the stiff arm outside of the 30. Up near the 32-yard line. Great field position. Nifty return.
If you're going to play a gap presence, you must fill each and every gap. When guys start overrunning their gaps, then you get in trouble, and you're going to watch Flugents right there, the middle linebacker. He overruns his gap responsibility, and the cutback lane is available. Good, smart running by Jed Davies.
Cliff Kingsbury in the offensive unit. They were out there for only 3 snaps. Punted the ball away. They got their score on an 85-yard punt return by Wes Welker. Now they spread the Nebraska defense. Underneath, off the tight end's fingertips, Cole Roberts, a senior from Shallow Water, Texas. Big kid at 6'6", 240. Davies is going to be coming back, you know that.
That's going to take about 2 rolls of tape for an ankle that big.
He's got some tree trunks down there. Just about halfway through the opening 15 minutes of play. 21 points on the board already. 2nd and 10. Time for Kingsbury, floating it. Anton Page, but it's out of bounds. That's his big, tall wide receiver, the junior college transfer from Northwest Mississippi Community College, working against Dewan Gross.
But you can't run that close to the boundary and expect the quarterback to be able to drop it in. I mean, he's right up along the sideline. Give your quarterback some room so he can throw that ball over your shoulder. I mean, he's squeezed right up against the boundary. There's no way to complete that ball.
Kingsbury just wants a completion now. He started the contest 0 for 4. 3rd and 10 from the 32. Time over the middle and a first down. They desperately needed it. Mickey Peters got it, the sophomore from Weatherford, Texas.
And that's a matchup that they like. Lornell McPherson comes in. He's a small defensive back. Mickey Peters, pretty big, former quarterback, now a tight end, and he runs well. He was the state champion at 3A in the high hurdles, ran 13.8. That's fast for a guy who's 200+ odd pounds, and he's also a quarterback. They loved him as an athlete. Frank Solich said, we looked at him, we wanted him up here.
22 yards on the crossing pattern on the completion. And now in Nebraska territory at the 46. Time for Kingsbury again. Page, again, as you said, they let him go. They pushed him right to the boundary.
Kingsbury's trying to throw that ball to stop Page. He needs to stop his body, go up high. He's 6'5". Don't catch that over your shoulder. Go and square back to the ball so you can stay in bounds on that catch. I mean, it's going to be there. And you know what? They're not going to stop throwing it just because they've missed it twice. They're going to throw that pass.
Over-under on Kingsbury is about 60 passes tonight. Welker's the motion man. Top heavy on the wide side of the field. Ricky Williams, plenty of room to maneuver.
One guy missed.
He's got a first down all the way to the 26. Solid call on the delay. The rubberback Deion Booker made the stop.
Now the motion that they used allowed Cliff Kingsbury and Ricky Williams both to know it was man-to-man coverage. When you run a man in motion across, one guy goes with him, you know it's going to be man-to-man and a blitz look. So when the offensive line saw that, they were able to pick up the blitz, get a good hole for Ricky Williams.
Ricky Williams continues to be one of the best comeback stories in the Big 12. Young man that was second team all Big 12 in '98, his sophomore season. Then the knee injury wiped out his '99 campaign. First down, Kingsbury going for the tie break, or at least to tie things up. And not close to King Scoville. So second and long. It's the news show that everybody has been talking about. The best damn sports show, period. New nightly show that features a comedian who's a diehard sports fan and a bunch of ex-jocks who really know the game. Critics calling it a collision of sports and comedy. Just what you've been waiting for. Introducing the best damn sports show, period. It's weeknight, 7:30, 11:30, only on Fox Sports Net. I think we saw an upcoming guest right there.
I think we definitely did.
Screen, Ricky Williams. Lets the pursuit fly by. What
nice
balance.
move.
What
nice
balance. Close to the first down. Helps that he's only 5'8", James.
But you know what really starts this play is you get guys, Carlos Francis, here's a wide receiver. He knows what the play is called, knows it's behind the line of scrimmage, so he gets one block in, then he comes back and gets another block in on Keo Craver. Miss him the first time, get up and hit him again.
Francis coming up with big plays like that last week in the win over Kansas State. Third and short. Third and a little more than 2. Time for Kingsbury, but wide.
You got to put that ball on the money.
It was Welker, and he was available. Boy, that hurts. Kingsbury last year, only 165 yards. First 2 series against Nebraska, when it was 56-3 Huskers, he was intercepted twice.
I mean, he has them here. You see the defensive guys running toward an open Wes Welker, just throws it right out of his grasp. Also had Ricky Williams out of the backfield that time.
So now Robert Treese is going to try a 35-yarder. This young man was cut last spring. He worked his way back onto the squad in the fall. Did he make it a 4-point ball game? Yes. So the first points for the offensive unit come from Robert Treese, the junior from Converse, Texas. 14-10, Cornhuskers early. Back by Josh Davis right at the goal line. Good blocking for Davis. Outside of the 30 for the Cornhuskers. They've got it again. At their own 30, Nebraska's already had the ball. And we still have 6:55 left in the first quarter.
We've had a lot of action in this first quarter. Obviously, the big punt return by Wes Welker to get Texas Tech on the scoreboard first. And Nebraska doing a good job on their special teams unit. That short pooch kickoff and recovering that fumble.
Nissan scoring drive for the Red Raiders. Didn't take much time, 99 seconds. Treese got the 35-yard field goal after they stalled inside the 25 on a 3rd and 2, where Kingsbury was off the mark, trying to get it to Welker. Castle taking over in the backfield with Dietrich. Castle with Davies getting wrapped. Here's the backup fullback tonight. Stringing it out. Dietrich won't get much. They stack him after a gain of a yard, yard and a half.
Kevin Curtis, nice job getting up there in that hole.
Hot dogs available. There's our man.
I don't think he can get him up high enough to the press box.
What's his vertical, by the way?
Well, if he uses that machine right there, he can get off the ground. Look at these spread formations by Nebraska. This is a new look for them.
3 wide receivers set, running the option. Eric Crouch. Dietrich on the pitch. And he's got a Nebraska first down. Took it to the wide side of the field. Their strength is left side offensively with the tackle and guard, but boy, they use the wide side nicely.
Don't tell the lineman on the right side that the strength is to the left side, but Eric Crouch really does do a good job here, holding the ball just long enough where he knows he's the key one. He knows that they're keying on him this play, and they're going to give him the pitch. A lot of times quarterbacks want to get rid of that ball early, but here's the guy. I guess he's been running this since Pop Warner football.
And all the way from Pop Warner to Millard North, destined to be here in Lincoln. And now a timeout inside of 6 minutes left in the opening 15 minutes of play.
Didn't like his look.
So they'll have it at their own 46-yard line. And Eric Crouch, I mentioned, only needed 9 yards coming in to get 3,000 on the ground. So now 3,000 career passing, 3,000 rushing. Joining the threesome you just saw. It all started, you're talking about Pop Warner. Then he showed flashes of that in Pop Warner.
Yeah, but the other kids are arguing, Mommy, he won't pitch it to me.
Then he wanted, at Millard North, he wanted to wear number 7. He wore number 4 at Millard North High School. Wanted to wear number 7 when he got here because, boy, did he love John Elway growing up.
And I asked Frank Solich, you know, does he look a lot different now than he did when you saw him as a little high school kid? He said, well, he's a little skinnier then, but he still had the speed. And, you know, he's really refined himself. He's become a better passer. And I think his lower body strength, you don't talk about that a lot. He hasn't gained a lot of upper body strength, but his lower body strength, the ability to run through tackles, that's what Eric Crouch has. And that stutter move, I love that.
And he's as fast as many of the running backs, running a 4.4740. How they did in the AP Top 10 today. UCLA and Cal coming up later on Fox Sports Net. Oklahoma cruised past Baylor, winning by 16. Upset of the day, Oregon, their 23-game home winning streak snapped, losing to Stanford. The Cardinal came back from a 14-point deficit. Friday night it was Fresno State getting knocked off. In Texas, what an impressive showing at home over Colorado.
Cedric Benson. Oh, good job by Lamont Anderson.
The fullback didn't go anywhere. Castle buried by Lamont Anderson, the junior from Irving, Texas.
He just runs right across the face of Wes Cody, number 59. That's just quickness right there. We talked about this starting at the defensive tackle position. There is number 71 on the bottom, and then a sandwich comes in. Robert McKinney, number 95 on the top.
No gain on the carry. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 46. Crouch wide open and too tall for Wilson Thomas. It just sailed on Eric Crouch. Maybe he was too wide open. Great play fake.
And that's like you're out in the parking lot before the game and you tell the guy, okay, run past the Chevy. Now throw it to. He's past the Chevy. He's wide open. And Wilson Thomas at 6'5". You know that ball was high. This guy doubles on the basketball team once the season's over, and that one was a little bit over the goal.
Thomas is a guy that didn't even play high school football until his junior year, making up for lost time, though. Now 3 wide receivers on the 3rd and 10 for Crouch and the Huskers. Straight 4-man rush. Time for Crouch, and what a grab! John Gibson bringing it down. Good pocket protection, too.
John Gibson in his 6th year here. That both knees worked on, was granted a medical red shirt for the 6th season. Boy, nothing wrong with his hands, though. Look at that catch, stretching out. Big pickup on a 3rd down when they were bogged down a little bit. Now, I would bet that Frank Solich would go back to what I call his power game, really running in between the tackles.
Castle and Dietrich comprise the eye. And Crouch in the play fake after the counter, dumping it off. Castle the fullback, rumbling inside the 20 to the 19, getting everybody involved.
And I'm thinking power football. You know what? The defense was thinking power football. That's the only way guys get that wide open. But good play action faking by Eric Crouch in the backfield.
Now the other fullback headed to the locker room. They taped him. He's still feeling the pain, as you can tell. You know, we've been here 2 of the last 3 weeks for Frank Solich, and each week he tells us the ultimate for me, I'd like to throw it 20, 22 times a game.
And I think he may prove himself a prophet this week.
First down to the 19. This drive started back at the Cornhuskers 32. Wants to go back over the middle. He's got it. Touchdown, Wilson Thomas. The new look Nebraska Cornhuskers.
There are a lot of quarterbacks around the country. There are a lot of quarterbacks that scare you with their arm, but when one scares you so much with his feet that his arm just kills you afterwards, I don't think there's a guy with that potential around the country. And, you know, Solich has whispered the words Heisman before.
Josh Brown with the point after. still over 4 minutes left in the quarter. Nebraska's found the end zone 3 times, leading by 11. With the kickoff. And McCann taking a shot from Josh Brown. The kicker gets his money's worth. They're all having fun tonight in Nebraska, aren't they? Intel inside Big 12 North standings. Got to go through Lincoln to win it. Nebraska ahead of Iowa State. Colorado suffering their first conference loss earlier today at Texas. Mizzou with a big win now, 2-2. And in the South, now it's going through Norman.
Although that season ender where Nebraska has to visit Boulder, that's going to be important.
That's on Saturday, the 24th of November. Big drive. Kingsbury, even if they don't get points, just move the ball a little bit. Keep their defense off their field, and the crowd's really into it. Walker with the grab, and good yardage on first down. Great running play for them. It's almost like a run for this team. Shanley knocked him out of bounds, about 8 yards on the reception.
Now, when Nebraska lines up in the gaps early, what they've shown is that they're backing out of it. They drop back into zone coverage. A couple weeks ago, Craig Bohl told us, he said, I hate zone coverage. He said, what it does, it takes good players, and it makes them just a little lazy. But when you play man-to-man, you guys really hone in on each other. I think he's got to get back to the man-on-man concept a little more.
Kingsbury, Ricky Williams. And Ricky Williams waited to get the first down.
Boy,
he needed the block.
Good patience. Right. Good patience. That's a guy who's, I guess, run the ball a couple of times. What do you have, 1,600 yards back in 1998?
3,200 plus on his career and among active rushers in the Big 12. He is number 1. Number 2 is Eric Crouch.
Got a 5 feet 9 inches. Duncanville, Texas, which is just south of Dallas, and there's a hill that this guy runs up during the summer right there by I-30, and he runs up it when it's about 110 degrees.
First down, Tech, trailing 21-10. Floating it, another first down. Good grab by Peters, the sophomore from Weatherford, Texas. And give Kingsbury credit for catching him in stride as well.
Yeah, and that's one of the key components to being an accurate passer. And Cliff Kingsbury comes in almost 68% completions, crossing pattern, and he used the guy in the black and white uniform as his friend because the defender had to run around. The offensive guy gets a bead on him, goes about a yard in front, and you know that the defensive player has to go around in the other direction.
First down. Number 1 in Big 12, and he's wide open downfield, taking it in. Carlos Francis, the big playmaker last week, lost it, but it looked like he was down already at the 32.
He was down and rolling around.
So on the gadget play, Carlos Francis with a first down to the Huskers 32.
Yeah, nice look by Texas Tech. This ball is thrown, you know, it's not thrown as far as it was in practice, but they do complete it. Nice job by Hartfield. Hartfield's going, man, put it out, that's a touchdown.
Kingsbury out of the gun, pocket holds up. Anton Page off his fingertips with the pass interference coming up. Dewan Gross climbing up his back.
You know what? It was a great offensive attempt, and it was a good defensive play because you can't let that man make the catch. And giving away about 7 inches right there is Dewan Gross. That ball was thrown very nicely.
On the defense, maximum penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
You like the touch so his receiver can run under it.
I like the touch. What he could do is he could throw it a little further away, more this way out in the field and let his receiver run under it. So he has to bend a little backwards, throw it to the open field just a little more. Nice job pulling that arm away because that was real close to being just a good play and not a penalty.
It's to the 17-yard line. So now Tech trying to answer back. Last drive they got 3 from Treese after stalling right in this area.
They've got the 20-yard line. They've got the defense on their heels right now.
12 minutes gone. Kingsbury in trouble on his way out. Taking too much time, and Kelsey comes up with a big play. The junior from Auburn, Nebraska, down to Eric Clemens. Eric.
All right. All right, Joel, you know, this Texas Tech bench is pretty confident, even though they trail by 11 right now. With 2:42 to go in the quarter, they are in, I guess you could say, an official track meet with the Nebraska Cornhuskers here at Memorial Stadium, and they have been drawn. Very few of them are sitting down. They are confident they can move the ball and score against these black shirts, guys.
Well, they've been moving it consistently. Kingsbury missed early, but now he's on target. He's got the middle screen. And what a pounding Glover took. Nehemiah Glover's first catch. He won't forget it.
If you're a defensive lineman, you've got a decision to make, because you come through on that middle screen, you know it's a miscreen, and you don't turn around. And scouting report on Chris Kelsey, number 57. You don't notice that he's 6'5", 270. Good size, but he has great upfield speed. Talked about 6'5", so he has long arms. But I think the key here is this guy is relentless. He will chase you all around the field. If you have the football, you know, sometimes they'll even pop you when you don't have the football.
So now they can't pick up the first down on 3rd and 18. A little more yardage for Treese on a field goal attempt. They're 1 through 3 on their 3rd down tries. And almost jumped. After Kingsbury, and the receiver taken down at the 10.
Wes Welker
and Erwin
Sweeney got tangled up.
So Welker goes down, can't believe it.
They're about at the outside of Treese's field goal range here. This is going to be stretching a little bit. They got close to blocking that other one with the vertical jump earlier.
Well, the last one was his longest of the year, the 35-yarder. Prior to that, it had been 33 yards. He's 5 of 7.
Right in the middle of the field, and for a right-footed kicker, this is going to bend from right to left.
This would be a career best. 42-yard attempt for Treese. Does it have enough? Yes. The slow line drives work every time. 8-point ball game in Lincoln. It's a knuckleball. Davis will have it at the 6. And Davis tumbles across the 30. They'll put him down just across the 32-yard line. College football Saturday presented by and the dominating Nebraska Cornhuskers lead it by 8 as they get it back. What a sunset in the upper Midwest tonight.
You can see South Dakota over there.
It is just spectacular weather. Late autumn. Joel Myers, James Lofton, Eric Clemens down on the sideline. A 26-yard return for Davis, setting up solid field position again for the Huskers. Crouch on the option. And great pursuit down the line.
Jonathan Hawkins, 47, eyeing Eric Crouch, going, okay, he didn't give it to the fullback. Now I've got to run out there as fast as this guy who runs 4.4 and get to the plate. Good play by Hawkins.
He's a senior from Wichita Falls, Texas. 13 stops. Had a sack last week as well. Forced a fumble. Huge game against Kansas State.
Here's Leach being head coach and offensive coordinator, just like his counterpart on the other sideline.
Thunder counted in for the first time on 2nd and long. Wide open. They've got the first down. It went to Wilson Thomas again. That's been his favorite target. Kevin Curtis with the stick, but a lot of room for Wilson Thomas once he got downfield.
You know, I know they're not doing this because they want the Oklahoma Sooners to see it. But it will send a message to Bob Stoops and his staff that, hey, power football, option game, drop back passing, play action, we've got to be able to defend it all next week.
Now this is the #1 team in the nation on the ground, 339 yards a game. Collins, a couple of yards at the most down to the 46, wrapped up by Jonathan Hawkins. And you talked about looking ahead. It'd be easy with Nebraska matching up with Oklahoma next Saturday. But Frank Solich told his team, he reminded him just a couple of days ago, that in '83, Nebraska crushed Syracuse 63-7. Following year, Syracuse upsetting Nebraska when they were the #1 team in the nation at the time. Orangemen came back and beat them 17-9.
Now, all that history may not mean anything to those kids, but last year, Kansas State beat Nebraska. Last week, Texas Tech beat Kansas State. So that's recent history, and that makes it real.
Craig Bohl told us he's not seen a frame of Oklahoma footage yet.
But he will be in at 6 a.m. to get started on it.
He said, thanks, guys, for making a night game for us on Saturday.
Robert McKinney coming off. He looks okay.
And they can't afford to look ahead. 43 seconds left in the quarter. And Texas Tech, you know, is going to keep putting it up, and they're going to put a lot of people out there.
And if you're going to come up and play man-to-man, you may give up a big play every now and then, but you can't sit back in zones and let Kingsbury go to work on it.
Clock rolling down to the first quarter. Thunder Connor's just warming up, though. He's got a first down inside the 35, the junior from Los Angeles. He's the home run threat. The other running back, Darren Dietrich, he's the guy that pounds it and wears him down. Haycock making the stop in the secondary. Pretty good size for Collins, too, though, at 6'2", 190. Will they take another snap? Yes. One more snap before the end of the first 15 minutes of play. That it's been a ho-hum quarter. It's only produced 34 points so far. Crouch hits the crease.
Holding.
Flag goes down right at the line. So that'll help clear out that edge.
Oh, yeah. That'll help until they throw the flag.
Mike Smith on the stop. The redshirt freshman from Lubbock had a break for the Red Raiders on the final snap of the first quarter.
I've always said holding is the result of the defense hustling.
John Bible, the referee.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. We'll have an untimed down. The quarter cannot end on a penalty.
So the penalty against the offense, one untimed snap, and they'll move it back. It'll be first and long.
So for all the good things that we've seen Nebraska do, Frank Solich is making notes. Punt return, holding on a PAT, picking up a first down here, holding, unsportsmanlike, blocking late. He's going to emphasize all those things at halftime. He's going to say, okay, guys, you're ready to play physically, but maybe you weren't ready to play mentally. Let's get ready to play mentally the rest of the ball game.
Play clock inside of 10 as it came in late from the sideline. Crowd, you can feel the urgency in the stands. Will they get it off? Yes, barely in time. And it's batted away. Good play by the linebacker, Lawrence Luchins. The middle linebacker read it perfectly. Now what a wild first 15 minutes in Lincoln. We saw well from Texas Tech give an early lead with an 85-yard touchdown on a punt return. Davies answered for Nebraska, and Thomas put Nebraska ahead as they lead by 8. Lincoln, Nebraska, Joel Myers along with James Lofton and Eric Clemens, a couple of Heisman Trophy candidates on display on Fox Sports Net tonight. First, Eric Crouch of Nebraska. Later tonight, second half of our doubleheader, Deshaun Foster of UCLA. And Eric Crouch letting everybody know he's not just a running quarterback.
And I think if Deshaun Foster is going to match him, he's going to have to throw a couple of touchdowns. But Eric Crouch, phenomenal. We know what he can do on the ground. And I think it has been a surprise for a lot of us watching this guy throw the ball. Frank Solich always talks about how well he can throw it. Well, that has been on display tonight big time.
And Frank Solich has said, I would like to throw the football more over the first 7 games. I haven't had to, and he really hasn't. They've had big leads. Notre Dame, a great example here. The first snap of the second quarter, second and long, and coming back and waiting for it as he lost it going up was the wide receiver John Gibson, and hurting as well.
Are they calling that a no catch?
First they said catch, and then they said he lost it on his way down.
I mean, it's a clean hit. He goes up high, wrap up both legs. Looks like when he comes down on his right leg, the ball does come down and touch the turf. It's a good call by the officiating crew. Nice job, Jose Leo Hansen coming up and coming through the wide receiver. And when he comes down, the ball comes down, hits the ground before his body does, and that is a no catch.
And he was twisted down in such an awkward position. You can understand the pain.
And here's a guy, and we talked about knee injuries. He's been cut on twice, both knees, and when you had that before, you know the pain that it's causing.
The screen. Wilson Thomas couldn't get to it.
Good pressure in the face of Eric Crouch by Kevin Curtis and Jonathan Hawkins. We talked about when you get that tunnel screen, there are guys who are responsible for it, the defensive lineman. That time you had secondary guy blitzing and a linebacker blitzing. They just have to go after that quarterback and say, we want to disrupt his throw, and they did that.
So finally a stop by the Tech defensive unit. Kyle Larson, the sophomore from Funk, Nebraska, will punt it away.
Away from Wes Welker.
Put it to the boundary. Welker at the 10. Larson with a short one to Welker with the fair catch and check in pretty good shape. Considering where it was punted from, they'll have it when we come back at their own 17-yard line. 8-point ball game in Lincoln.
On the field here at Memorial Stadium, you know, Tech coach Mike Leach says a big win here would be huge, and he used to mention stuff like that to his team for the sake of the program. He doesn't do that anymore. He tells his guys, concentrate on your play, your job. I'll worry about the program, guys.
Kingsbury throwing on first down, Eric, with heat, putting it up for grabs. And not close to Welker. Best opportunity at the football was Erwin Sweeney. Well, the philosophy of Mike Leach, and Eric was alluding to this, just getting better every day to start with. Be with yourself, play the next play. One game a week, that's all you can control. Don't look past one game a week.
What if you have a Sunday game and a Saturday game? That would be 2 games in a week. I'm sorry.
Kingsbury now 4 of 14. Shovel. Ricky Williams buried.
Yeah, he shovel pass.
Got him.
And there was the dirt to go over the shovel pass.
Schleck to the junior from La Vista, Nebraska. Pretty good pop, 6'6", 285.
Now they got it. What Cliff Kingsbury has to do now, and there you see Jeremy Slechta. Cliff Kingsbury, smart decision here in the pocket. I mean, just starting the second quarter. I know it seemed like more game has gone by. Make a smart decision here, though.
3rd and 10. Big downfield position-wise. Offensive line did a great job, and it's thrown behind. The wide receiver, he wanted to get it to Mickey Peters again.
Had him open early, waited a little too long, then had to put too much on it. Wasn't able to lead him.
So back-to-back stops by these two defensive units. And the crowd of 77,000 getting into it.
And one of the things that Nebraska excels at is returning punts. This puts them on a short field. They get a good punt return from Gross.
Gross is waiting near his own 40. And a good one by Greathouse. But room to move as well back at the 35. Gross won't quit. He's got it in Tech territory. Down to the 49. Daniel Loper finally got to him. Well, we're watching one Heisman hopeful tonight. What a start, throwing better than 100 yards, 6 of 9 in the first quarter with 2 touchdowns. What about the Heisman candidates?
One of the things that they all have in common, they all play for great teams. Eric Crouch, we're seeing him tonight. Ken Dorsey at Miami, he has a great supporting cast. Joey Harrington, where that upset loss to Stanford won't help him out. Deshaun Foster, UCLA and Oregon will match up later on the season. There was one defensive player out there, to be Rocky Calmus.
Dietrich slowed down, getting him around the ankle. Aaron Hunt coming off a career game. The junior from Denison, Texas. Talk about Hunt in just a moment. Tomorrow, the NFL on Fox. Doubleheader. 2nd and 9. Getting out on the edge. Thunder Collins to the 41. What's the latest, Derek?
All right, some injury updates on the Nebraska side. A couple of valuable guys. Judd Davies sprained his right ankle. You saw him leave the field earlier. His return is doubtful. John Gibson is having his sprained right ankle retaped. Of course, with that situation, his return is questionable, guys.
Funny thing, when you sprain an ankle, initially you think you can go because the adrenaline is still there and you don't feel the pain. And as you sit around a little longer, that thing just starts to stiffen up on you.
Crouch, will it be a keeper? No, pitch it anyway. Dietrich gets it. Crouch had as much room as Dietrich on the short side.
He really did, but I think what he was doing, he was sending a message that, you know what, if you guys concentrate on me, I will pitch it. And that time he had the guy right between he and the pitch man. He said, I'm going to give it to the pitch man this time.
Dietrich got 10 carries for 70 yards. Davies back out with his teammates that cut the tape.
Talked about how big the ankle was. You see 2 bags of ice on that ankle. Davies, big physical blocker, and going to need this guy next week. The injury list is starting to mount up at the wrong time of the year for Nebraska.
Dietrich in the eye. Crouch looking to throw. And he's got Wilson Thomas. Touchdown, Nebraska. Go figure. What a night for Crouch through the air.
I told you, you wouldn't believe me. Not that I know anybody on the coaching staff in Nebraska who's given me some of their game plan information. You're Lamont Anderson, number 71. You look at Eric Crouch and you go, I can't tackle this guy when he's running down the line of scrimmage. How the heck am I going to get him when he's throwing the football? Right there on the pylon, Wilson Thomas puts those 13s. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Josh Brown into it. Nebraska by 15 now after Thomas's second touchdown grab in the first half. The quarterback's coach for the Cornhuskers. And Eric Crouch has already thrown for 137 yards and 3 scores. We still have 12:09 left in the first half. Ivory McCann waiting for the Josh Brown kickoff. And it's a pooch. Fair catch called for. And lost again. Did they get it back? Here goes the wrestling match.
Boy, you watch a college player struggle like that, your heart just aches for him. He did the right thing, called for the fair catch.
And then let it right slide
Number
right down
30,
his chest.
Jason Wellesley.
And Tech does
breathing a big sigh of relief there.
That's the play of the day right now for Texas Tech.
There's Wesley getting up off that bottom of that pile going, you know what? This has not been my night so far. Boom. You got to catch that thing in your hands. You can't catch it on your body. And he does a great job in getting that ball out of there.
Demuth almost came up with it. He recovered it the last time. Almost like a dual possession, and Tech needed it. They get it to the 26, trailing 28-13. Rick Williams ripped in the backfield. Kelsey does it again. Mismatch on the line, James.
Talked about his upfield speed, that rush end position going up against the tight end, Cole Roberts. That's a mismatch. Defensive end against the tight end on a running play. Then he's ripping at the football. The coach is relentless. I mean, the play's over, but he wants some more. Give me some more.
2nd and 11 after the loss of a yard.
Look at the wide splits by Texas Tech.
And they've got Walker, the wide receiver, in the backfield. Anton Page. Nice moves. And holds on to the football near a first down. Got 10, needed 11.
A shoe popped out.
Strong moves for a guy 6'5", almost 6'6".
Yeah, Anton Page had a hamstring injury during training camp and kind of slow developing, but they really like his talent. Big receiver of Northwest Mississippi Community College. Big numbers at the JC level, and now he's starting to get a feel for what it's like to play at the Division I level. And what a better place to step on the stage in Lincoln, Nebraska.
It's a tough call for a team that gets only 20% of their total offense from the ground game. Ricky Williams is a single on 3rd and a yard. Williams with a toss sweep. Nice move to cut it inside. First down across the 40. Good kick out for Ricky Williams.
Normally your greatest strength is also your greatest weakness. We talked about Chris Kelsey. Watch the upfield move. He pushes upfield. They just kick him right past the play because he's a speed guy, so he's trying to outrun the play instead of standing there strong at the point of attack.
First down, Texas Tech at the 41. Red Raiders have shown the ability to move the football all night long. Peters was sliding in motion, and Peters is available, the motion man. He's got close to another first down. Give him 9. Barrett Rude, a freshman from Lincoln, knocked him sideways.
3 receivers to the bottom and a little motion, then set by Peters. Once again, using the guy in the striped uniform to their advantage.
FedEx Air and ground numbers so far. 273 yards for Nebraska, and great balance by the Cornhuskers as well. 136 on the ground, 137 through the air. 2nd and a yard. Going for the big one. Grab inside the 20. Carlos Francis.
Now, a big change of pace by Texas Tech on that play. What did Cliff Kingsbury do? Went up and actually put his hands under the center's butt. They don't do that very often. They love to line up in the shotgun. when you get that type of look, the defense is thinking maybe this is a run. That's the fastest guy on their team, Carlos Francis, going up against the best cover corner for Nebraska, Keo Craven. Good matchup. Great release by Carlos Francis to beat him at the line of scrimmage.
And Kingsbury last week didn't work under a center at all because he's had a sore thumb. That occurred in the Kansas game, and he missed the last quarter of the matchup with the Jayhawks. Kingsbury, again the tight end, Cole Roberts.
You know what? He's almost got to zip that ball in there against zone coverage because the weak side defenders will seep back in there. See the big splits, nice passing lanes. Now zip, throw that ball. There it is. Just beating the linebacker one-on-one. Scott Shanley can't keep up. The little niftier player, Cole Roberts.
Cole Roberts, 21 catches over the previous 4 games.
Need to go big down here. I like Page.
Second in the yard, quarterback draw. Kingsbury gets the first and goal. He didn't look real comfortable doing it. There's a flag at the end of the play. But the coach's son from New Braunfels High School outside of the San Antonio area, he's got the first and goal.
And I think they might have bumped his face mask on the way down. That's it. That'll be half the distance of the goal.
5-yard face mask penalty on the defense. It's a first down.
Well, you can't take him 5 yards from the 3-yard line. That would march it right into the end zone. Texas Tech would like that, of course.
Not many rushing touchdowns this year for Texas Tech. Most from the arm of Kingsbury.
If they're going to run, their best run blocking lineman is Rex Richards, number 72.
Muddling in for the first time. Corner fade. Oh, the fingertips of Cole Roberts.
And Kingsbury got whacked at the end of that play. The one change that the Texas Tech has made in their lineup, they put number 67, Lance Williams, in at left guard, a senior. They wanted to try and play Matt Hyder there. He's been out with an ankle injury since the Texas game. Look at this, Deion Booker right up the middle, making the quarterback pay. That ball's on the money, though.
Boy, it really tells you the mindset of Texas Tech, though. First and goal from the 1. Pass first, run next. Kingsbury, quarterback sneak.
Looks like he lost the ball.
He lost the ball and his footing. There's the scramble inside the 1. Did he lose the football? Deion Booker diving underneath after it.
There's a lot of grabbing and pulling going on in there right now.
And Texas Tech maintains possession 7 minutes into the second quarter.
Talking about not being very comfortable taking the snap under the center. And as your center's moving, you have to ride with them. He's moving to the right. You're trying that quarterback sneak right. Quarterback has to be ready to go in that direction. But when you run this play at half speed during the week in practice, it doesn't give you the same look that you get on game day in front of 77,000 people screaming at you.
And he's still got that sore thumb. He's not all the way there yet, 100% with the right hand, the throwing hand. Hatfield, the only one in the backfield. Huskers almost jump. Kingsbury, pop pass, corner of the end zone, jump ball, Anton Page. Touchdown, Texas Tech. Not a bad idea. 6'5", 6'6", wide receiver against the 5'10" defensive back. Impressive 74-yard drive.
Now, if you're the defensive back, what you want to do is try and strip that ball as it's coming down, but he's just out of position. Look at that body and that stretch. Great catch by Anton Page.
Trace for the point after.
I've never understood this shift.
With the always interesting configuration. Just in case you are about to relax, watch this. And Treese splits the uprights. So anything but a comfort zone for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. They've played a sensational game, but still only lead by 8. And what a win for the Seattle Mariners after they were down 2-0 early. But college football on our minds in the heartland in Lincoln, Nebraska. Greathouse kicks it away. Will it find the boundary? No. And it's already Josh Davis finally gets to it around the 2. And he pays for his indifference. It's only out of the 15.
That ball took a spin back to the right. Looked like it was going to go out of bounds, and which would have given Nebraska the ball up on the 40.
Joe Norman, first one down there. Anton Page catches it. Nissan scoring drive for the Red Raiders. 10 plays, 74 yards, almost 5 minutes off the clock. Big grab on that jump ball by Page.
They did a real nice job on that drive in converting third downs. And one of the areas that Craig Bohl, the defensive coordinator for Nebraska, said, we've been really good on third downs. But Texas Tech won third downs on that drive.
So Nebraska with their worst field position to start a drive tonight. Thunder Collins avoiding his own blocker. Great yardage. He's got a first down to the 26, a gain of 11. Put down by Ryan Aycock.
Boy, number 99, Aaron Galladay, is lined up at tight end. And I had a chance to talk to Frank Solich when he said Wistrom wasn't going to play. And he said Galladay just gives us another big lineman up there.
Campbell's trivia question this evening. National championship game is in the Rose Bowl this year. When was the last time Nebraska played in the Rose Bowl? The actual Rose Bowl game.
I know. You don't want me to give it away, though, do you?
Well, it's somewhat of a trick question because they did play UCLA in the mid-'80s in a regular season game at the home of the UCLA Bruins, the Rose Bowl, and lost the game. But they had pounded UCLA a couple of years earlier here.
Yep.
But they were giving up a ton of points that night at the Rose Bowl. Lost to UCLA, gave up more than 40 points. And now a timeout Nebraska. That is their second. Only one left with 6:48 to play in the half. Well, the confidence factor was key in talking to Mike Leach because beating Kansas State, he said, you know, we're a real young squad, a very youthful group, and sometimes it's tough to get a youthful group up after back-to-back losses like they suffered against Kansas, the double overtime at home, and then they lost Ricky Williams at the end of the first quarter, and they were hammered at Texas.
But the funny thing about it is you take it back a year ago, they're playing Nebraska at their place, and they thought, you know, this is a chance we have to step up. They lost 56-3. But I don't think that was on their minds coming into this ball game. They looked at their offensive line, basically the same guys playing up front, and they put on 5 and 10 and 15 pounds of muscle. So those guys have gotten bigger and stronger every year.
And Losh, you're talking about the worst in Tech history. Eric Clemens, what's going on downstairs?
Well, it's a tale of the injured right ankles for Nebraska players. Judd Davies is there with the ice pack on his right ankle. His return doubtful. John Gibson has the ice on his right ankle. His return is doubtful. Dan Veely-Waldrop, the offensive tackle, has his right ankle ice. Jeremy Slechta had his retaped, and it looks like his return is going to happen.
Rice, rest, ice, compression, and elevation.
They look like a pair of the Rockettes on strike down there.
I'm just an MD.
Crouch. Nifty moves. Quarterback gets 7 on first down from outside of his own 25.
And every mom at home knows that when your kid gets something hurt, rest, ice, compression, and elevation. Those guys are resting. Got the ice on it, compressed, elevation.
I just thought you wanted to have Chinese food after the game.
Was that our producer, Mike Helling, with that sign?
Second and 3 for the Cornhuskers. Now can they put together a time-consuming drive? They've moved it, but they've been short drives, time-wise at least. Thunder Collins.
He didn't pick up the first down.
He's short, but he's got a third down to try. Third new yard. Flugents getting to him, the middle linebacker, the junior from Klein, Texas, who led Tech in tackles last year, doing the same once again this year.
You know, we saw the injured players on the sidelines, and the big one there, to me, is Judd Davies. You know, we looked at the 119 yards that he had rushing last week, but he's such a powerful lead blocker, and at 6 foot, 265 pounds, when you take him out, and they don't have a lead blocker his caliber.
Crouch. And boy, it's going to be very close.
If it's the line judge coming in from this side, he did not get it.
No, he's short by about 3/4 of a yard.
That's fourth down. You've got a little over 5:30 to play in the second quarter.
Well, I like Aaron Crouch, though. Sportsmanship helping Aaron Hunt up, who is at the middle of the stack with him.
He's going for it. Nah, he said punt it.
Up by 8. Tech is going to get it back unless they think about a gadget here. So a 28-20 lead. Tech bouncing back. They had the early lead 7-0 as Wes Welker will return it. He's already got a punt return for a touchdown, and that was the first 7 of the game, 85 yards.
And on the long return, they did a nice job in doubling the outside men.
Do it once again. Low snap to Kyle Larson, and he barely got it away. Welker from his own 21. And almost a block in the back. No flags. And Tech will have it at the 24. Going to play on the first one down there on coverage. College football Saturday on Fox Sports Net, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Tonight, Lincoln, Norman, Austin, 3 sites in the Big 12. Nirvana, if you're a college football fan. And that's what we've got in an 8-point ball game. Kingsbury checking off.
He was under the center, and they had a tighter split on that left side.
Trips on the wide side. In trouble. Man available, though. And he's got close to a first down with King Scoville's first grab, and he does have a first down. It doesn't.
They like the big wide splits, and the coach said, Mike Leach, he said, sometimes we'll tighten them down. These are tight for a reason. They're going to run a little running play up in there. Sees he doesn't like it, gets out from under the center, and then he makes something happen with his legs first. Spots open receiver on the sideline. Good job by Kingsbury.
Scoville, the senior from Dallas. First down at the 36. Francis, the motion man, draws attention and frees up Cole Roberts again. Over the last 4, Cole Roberts hasn't had a game where he's caught less than 4.
It was funny when we talked to Craig Bowl yesterday. He said they've got 2 distinctively different tight ends. Cole Roberts, 6'6", 245 pounds. And then Mickey Peters, who's about 6'3", 210. They thought that his linebackers could match up well against Roberts. Well, Roberts must have lost a couple of pounds and gained a step. And there's Bowl thinking, maybe I ought to put a defensive back on this guy.
A little more than 4 minutes to play, and a productive half for the Red Raiders. Screen underneath, Carlos Francis, the wide receiver. Keogh Craver all over that play, though.
I just think Carlos Francis was split a little too wide on that play. Never got in underneath his blockers.
Keogh, the first name his parents gave him. They just like the name, a Hawaiian first name. They found out later it means the talented one. And it looks like this young man is going to be able to play on Sundays.
And you know, it's doubly bad. You got a defensive back whacking you, and then here comes your own guy, Rex Richards, to kind of clean you up. But he's actually trying to hit the guy in the red.
About 3 on the first down pass to Francis. Tighter formation, 4-tech, only 2 to the wide side of the field. And going to the wide side of the field, and the wide receiver, Welker, played defensive.
Yeah, Welker put his hand on Sweeney's back and kind of pulled him around so he wouldn't be able to adjust the football. Nice play by Wes Welker. Don't give that guy a chance to catch the ball.
That was heads up.
Watch the arm go on there and kind of just spin the guy around just a little bit. You turn into the defender and you hear the chorus of boos from the fans as they replay it on the replay board here, but I like what Wes Welker did there. Frank Solich didn't like it, but I like it.
Almost 78,000 wearing striped shirts tonight. And now it's 3rd and 7.
Big third down here.
245th consecutive sellout in Lincoln.
Got one-on-one up top.
Walker sliding the slot, wide side of the field. Welker's available, and he overshoots him at the 30. Working against Buckner. They got there late. Too much air under it.
Yeah, they had the motion. Deion Booker didn't pick him up on the initial motion, and Cliff Kingsbury was so anxious to throw that ball, they overthrew it.
The ball on the Huskers' 48-yard line.
There it is. Here's Booker running out there late. Now the pressure makes him throw it, but he had a guy wide open.
Gross waits for the Great House punt.
Got to get a roll.
And they do. Inside the 20, going out of bounds. Right about the 18-yard line. Well, we're looking at Eric Crouch, who is definitely a Heisman Trophy candidate. Right after our matchup in Lincoln.
Up there at Cal.
Crouch throwing on first down. Beautiful play fake. And is it picked off? Dual possession, yes. Taking it away, Kevin Curtis. He struggled. It almost looked like a dual possession play.
Fantastic break on the football. John Bowling running the crossing route. Kevin Curtis coming up just making a super play.
Did he ever wrestle that one away?
Eric Crouch firing the ball, and there's Kevin Curtis just taking away from And he has that ball. He has that ball once they split on the ground.
Is that the definition of dual possession?
No.
But he took it away
Dual
before they
possession
got
would
down.
be if the offensive guy had a little more possession. That was singular possession.
He really did rip it. 3:10 to play in the half. And now Tech close to field goal range already. They've gotten a couple of field goals from Treese. 42-yarder included.
It's a position that Nebraska's defense hasn't been in all season long.
Ricky Williams in. Kingsbury, good pocket protection. He's got all day, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Booker. The Cornhuskers get it right back.
You had one interception. That was a great defensive play. That interception, Booker just sitting back there in the deep third of the zone. Ball is thrown directly to him.
And boy, it appeared to be pretty good pocket protection.
Great protection. What you have to do sometimes, you get a little greedy while you're on the football field. See the ball just a little high for Mickey Peters. He doesn't go up after it because he's thinking this ball isn't thrown to me. There must be somebody behind me.
First down, Huskers.
But Nebraska may run it out now.
They've got one timeout remaining. 3 minutes on the clock. Short side of the field for Crouch. And plenty of congestion as he's put down by Curtis.
Crouch, the ball carrier. Run out of bounds by Kevin Curtis.
Well, looking at the numbers for the two Heisman hopefuls. Eric Crouch so far tonight. 137 through the air and 3 touchdown tosses.
Those rushing yards will go up. Trust me. He'll have more than 21 when this thing is over.
Give to Sean Foster 163 per game. 301 in his last game, setting a new UCLA standard. And the win over the Washington Huskies. That's next on Fox Sports Net. Diedrich cradling the football, making sure it wasn't taken away. Stretching for 2 extra to the 32 in the arms of Lawrence Flugens.
You know, kind of a little bit of a chess battle going on right now because if you're Texas Tech, you stop them on 3rd down, you have all 3 timeouts remaining. So you have a chance to get the football back and use those timeouts.
And if you're Nebraska, do you want to hurry that much?
No, you don't. You want to use all the time on this 25-second play clock, which hasn't started yet. Boy, is that a coincidence when that happens when you're playing at home?
So a long 5 for Crouch, and his man was out of bounds. Battling Wilson Thomas was nudged out of bounds by Ricky Saylor.
And once you get pushed out of bounds, if you remain out of bounds, you cannot be interfered with. You have to be in the field of play to be interfered with.
Heads up play.
Yeah, nice job by Saylor. I mean, he's seen this fade route before. Wilson Thomas just loses his balance and can't get back to the thrown ball.
So now 2:12 remaining. Tech gets it right back with Wes Welker waiting for the punt. And Nebraska has slowed down considerably offensively. Their last 3 possessions, they stalled at their own 35.
Talked about all the little injuries, fullbacks, tight ends, guys like that get injured, and then you have a guy late coming out because he wasn't originally on the punt coverage unit.
Kyle Larson to punt it away.
That's a returnable ball right there.
Line drive for Welker at the 20. Gets the first block and the second. And breaks free. There goes Wes Welker. Will he make it? Does he have the proper angle? And he's got a blocker. He should. At the 10, he's in. Touchdown, Texas Tech. His second punt return for a score tonight. A flag down, though.
This is a kid who came in averaging 3.8 yards per return. What a turnaround.
Will it come back? It appears to.
There is stunned silence in Lincoln, Nebraska.
It is going to come back, though. Let's see where they place it. And they're looking over the chains like maybe Nebraska, maybe it was at the snap.
Offside on the defense. 5-yard penalty. That's enough for a first down.
Unbelievable.
They've got to walk this off. It looked like it was 4th and 6. Boy, oh boy. You get the feeling when you're on the road, because I've been there before as a player, that you're playing against more than just the guys in the red uniforms. I don't really see it. There you see right there at the top a little early movement. It looks like he's reacting to the snap. Boy, that's incredible to take that away from Wes Welker.
Well, he already had A punt return of 85 yards. That was right at 80 yards. Crouch looking to capitalize. The reception by Bowling. And he's got a first down across the midfield stripe to the 49. So Nebraska, with only one timeout, can't waste time.
Yeah, but the thing that I don't see from Nebraska is like a 4 wide receiver set. You still see in a hurry-up instance here, they're still using the play action passing. You're not going to bite on the play action passing, but you still have to respect the run because they have guys who can rip off a 50-yard run on you.
This quarter, Texas Tech has taken over offensively. Just a little bit, but compared to the first, that's up for grabs.
Good coverage. Good coverage. They didn't bite on that.
Coverage on Wilson Thomas.
Yeah, he tried to run a kind of a stutter and go, but they didn't bite on it at all. Because you had the play action fake off the option. And then you had Eric Crouch try and look for the little stutter move and then tried to throw it deep, and good job by Kevin Curtis getting back deep to help out.
Well, we just saw those numbers offensively in the quarter, and I mentioned the last 3 drives for Nebraska. Stalling to their own 35, the interception by Kevin Curtis, and then 3 and out with a punt before they got the break. Otherwise, it could be a tied affair at the intermission.
Smart thing that Nebraska's doing between plays. They go on the opposite side of the number, and where they can line up extra guys in there and then spurt them out for the play.
Crouch out of the gun, calling his own all the way. You can tell it was a quarterback draw.
Yeah. Oh, good job in sniffing it out.
Josh Page all over it. The junior from Waxahachie, Texas. Now, do you call timeout if you are Tech?
I don't give them the extra snap. I'm okay at 28-20 if I'm on Texas Tech sideline. You know, we've been burned with the punt return. We're feeling like the officials are against us. Don't give them extra opportunities and extra time on the clock. Make them earn it here. And I'm wrong.
So that is the first used by the Red Raiders in your area.
Boy, those Mariners bats came alive today. They must have shipped the good bats with them. They had the bad bats when they were in Seattle, the ones with the holes in them.
Desperado in the background playing that game, the song by the Eagles, because they wouldn't have been around.
Yeah, their backs would have been up against the wall, down 3-0, but 2-1, they've got a chance. Got a chance. But you know what? I still don't like the timeout here. You got 3rd and 12. What you've done, you've given Nebraska time to get over there in conference, figure out what they want to do.
Now let's wrap up our trivia. Campbell's Trivia Time, National Championship game. It's the Rose Bowl this year, BCS Championship. Last time Nebraska played in the Rose Bowl, they lost to the Stanford Cardinal. Their first ever bowl
Stanford
game.
Indians at the time.
They were the Indians, losing by 8 to those Indians. 1941 was the year.
That guy remembers. He's still mad about it.
They've got 31 minutes and 3 seconds. All they can handle with Texas Tech remaining in this contest. Leading by 8. Crouch, big 3rd down. Over the middle, wide open, and it's dropped by Bowling. He is subbing for the injured Tracy Wistrom, and it wasn't a bad throw, was it?
Boy, Texas Tech really got off there because that ball was on the money. Little behind, but Bowling could have caught this pass, and if it's actually thrown out in front, boy, he has room to rumble. Right there, boy, he's got to catch that. I dare to say that Wistrom catches that ball.
Kyle Larson, 40-yard average so far tonight. Keep it away from Welker. That's all he wants to do.
They're coming after the punt.
It's Welker's night. They are coming after it. Over the head of Welker. Would it find the end zone, though? Rolling, and the Huskers can't get to it. A break for the Red Raiders. It's still 2 timeouts with 49 seconds to play in the half. Stay tuned for the Nissan halftime report. For those of you in the Northwest, you will go to your
blitz. When they had the big splits, it's normally a pass for them.
Williams, the only one in the backfield. Good protection. Carlos Francis, and he's got the first down. That'll stop the clock if they give it to him across the 30, and they do. That's important.
Boy, Keo Craver's down. They can't afford to lose him, and terrible big injury in his senior season.
The senior from Harleton, Texas.
I think it's
he took a recruiting trip to Texas Tech.
His left shoulder.
They look at him, and he was interested, but once they brought him up to Lincoln, it was over.
That happens with a lot of kids.
Solid cover corner. And good news, he is getting up.
Don't lip off on the right ankle. That's what it looks like, too.
Honorable mention, all Big 12 last year. Not much weight on that right ankle.
Let's see if we can see what happened to his right ankle. There's Craver. There's a face mask almost coming off. Right there from behind. Looks like it's stepped on. His own player steps on that right ankle. Number 59, Ryan Bigham.
Little by little, he's starting to put more weight, though, fortunately, on the right foot.
Yeah,
so all of a sudden, the ankle injuries continue to crop up.
Right ankle. You know what? My right ankle's getting a little sore, too.
You feel their pain.
Yeah.
So first down. And now the clock rolling. Red Raiders have to show some urgency. Still 2 timeouts on the board.
Got him.
And he's got him deep. Going for Francis. Great grab by Carlos Francis.
And Erwin Sweeney is the fastest player on their roster. We talked about Carlos Francis earlier. Going to the short side of the field, the quarterback's eyes are important. He looks left first, and then he comes back to the right. Watch the free safety way on this side of the field. He looks him off, and then he comes back and drops it right in on Carlos Francis. Big, big play. That's a big-time play because quarterbacks don't do that anymore. They don't look off the free safety. They just throw the ball down the middle and say, well, the guy came over and made a play.
Well, Mike Leach told us this is the coach's son, a quarterback out of New Braunfels, San Antonio area. He plays like a coach's son. Heady player. Kingsbury on the boundary for Page, and it's barely knocked away. Deron Gross. He timed it well. That stops the clock with 15 seconds remaining.
You got 2 timeouts. Go ahead and take your shots. You pick up a first down. You need to call timeout right away. You want to come away with 3 points. Defending the long pass, contact at the line of scrimmage, speed. You have to be able to run with the guy and then time your jump. He did a great job timing his jump there.
2nd and 10 from the 24. Pressure on Kingsbury. And throws it away. Heads up play on that side.
And you got a late hit on the quarterback.
And that'll cost it. Personal foul coming up. Kingsbury knows it. They'll get another snap before they have to attempt a field goal if they can't get it in.
This will move you down to about the 12-yard line.
From the passer on the defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
15 yards or have to do. There goes Keo Craver headed to the locker room. Take a look at those ankles. See the late hit. Kind of a helmet to the face. And then that little hit in the back right there by Chris Kelsey. If you're relentless, you got to know when to shut it off. It was time to shut it off there.
Kingsbury really looks in control tonight. Comfortable.
You know what? If I'm Deion Gross, number 5, my attitude is they're coming at me. He's waiting at the line of scrimmage for Anton Page right out here at the top. He says, bring it on, big fella.
From the 12, press coverage, as James mentioned, on the 6'5", 6'6" wide receiver Anton Page. Will it be a fade in that corner? No. Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams with a block. Will he find the goal line? Diving. He's in. Touchdown, Texas Tech.
What a gutsy call by Leach. 3 seconds on the clock. If he gets tackled in the field of play, the clock keeper here lets that thing run down to 0-0.
A 12-yard run, and now will they use a timeout to go for the 2-point conversion?
Yeah, go ahead and use your timeout here. There's no need taking them into the locker room. But Ricky Williams really should have gotten tackled about the 5-yard line. There he is running out of 1 tackle. This is a guy who's a big-time running back, and Deion Booker and McPherson can't bring him down and lunges into the end zone.
And he uses Booker. He never hits the ground because he's lying on Booker. So now they try to tie it up before they go to the locker room. Disbelief for Frank Solich.
I think
a lot Nebraska sideline.
A lot of people around town were waiting for the Oklahoma Sooners. Frank Solich didn't want to hear it, but you know what? Your kids hear it day in and day out in class. They're in class with the rest of the student body. They're eating at the cafeterias around town. They're going through the drive-up line. Everybody's talking about the Sooners, forgetting about the Red Raiders.
80 yards in only 46 seconds.
Yes. Big pass to Carlos Francis, and that penalty. Chris Kelsey didn't help him out either.
Yeah, moved it down to the 12-yard line. Good point. Made it a lot easier, and then the press coverage, they all thought it was going to be a jump ball in the corner. Ricky Williams the other way.
You got Mickey Peters, number 86 in the lineup. Good, quick target. McPherson has been lining up with him one-on-one, and Peters at 6'3", and McPherson at 5'9". There's a 6-inch differential there.
Now the Red Raiders try to tie it up at 28. On the slant, they get the two-point conversion to Anton Page.
He had no help inside.
Two-point conversion.
It is tied at 28. Just a little turn and slant.
Yep.
Texas Tech 28. Nebraska 28.
Got to respect his ability to go outside and then boom, right inside, and there's no help inside. You're out there. You've heard about the island one-on-one. Gilligan, no skipper, no Marianne, nobody to help you.
Well, the big long pass to Carlos Francis. The key to the drive. The penalty you talked about didn't hurt either.
Yeah, he looks him off left and then comes back. Carlos Francis just turns the Jets on and beats Sweeney. Sweeney's the guy who runs 100 meters for Nebraska. There's a touchdown. Gets bogged up in the middle. Ricky Williams bounces it out outside. And then McPherson is trying to put his head down. Can't do that. Now two-point conversion. Just a bullet. Nice, big, soft hands by Anton Page. That's a guy coming of age here in Lincoln, Nebraska. I like it up here.
He's only a junior, like Kingsbury. They've only got 6 senior starters, 3 on offense and 3 on defense. Red Raiders are going to be around.
Now, how do you kick this?
I keep it on the ground.
I kick it deep.
It's on the ground. And covered. Yeah, we'll have one more snap. Well, hometown clock, yes they will. Phil Peets covered it.
Everybody in the student section is going, run, run, run. I see Peets has 1 kickoff return for 0 yards now. He's in the official stat book for the year.
5-play, 80-yard drive, 46 seconds off the clock. Talk about utilizing.
And a shell-shocked Cornhusker offense. I mean, this is a team that came out clicking on all cylinders.
They led it 28-13 early in the second quarter.
Look good throwing the football, running the football.
Crouch takes a knee, and that'll do it. Regroup time for Nebraska. Adjustments for Frank Solich. And what a boost for the Red Raiders to come back from that early 15-point deficit. Stay tuned now for the Nissan Halftime Report. For those of you in the Pacific Northwest, you're going to go to your regional sports report. It's going to be a Mariners postgame show. Halftime in Lincoln. Shocker in the making. We'll find out over the next 30 minutes. Tech 28, Nebraska 28. Joel Myers, along with James Lofton and Eric Clemens downstairs. And Texas Tech, the poise of Cliff Kingsbury certainly paid off, but they did all the little things, and it started with their special teams.
Yeah, they really did do the little things well, and I think what they've done is they've established a tempo of this ballgame that we're not going to give up. We're going to get after them, and they did it on special teams. You saw the wall, the blocking pattern set up, Wes Walker going the distance, and then the big plays from the right arm of Chris Kingsbury. We knew that those would be there. We've seen it in the end zone. Great catch by Anton Page, and also forcing the turnover. Eric Crouch dropping back to throw the football, and this last one, a lot of extra effort.
Ricky Williams getting in. That set it up for the two-point conversions as we go downstairs to Eric Clemens. Eric.
Coach Leach, you've come up with all the big plays that you've needed to stay in this thing in the first half. When did you realize it was going to be at least a long half of football for the heavily favored home team tonight?
Well, before it ever started, I felt like it would be the biggest thing. We need to keep making big plays, and we missed some opportunities, but now we got to make big plays this half and keep rolling.
Okay, Coach, good luck to you.
Thanks.
All right, guys, back to you.
Did Eric really expect the coach to say he was surprised about the way this ball game was transpiring?
It would have been a shocker. Cliff Kingsbury in the first half, 15 of 31. That's after missing his first 4. 198 yards passing with a touchdown toss. Greathouse kicks it away. Davis waits for it. And Davis on the short one will take it at the 10. Banged across the 25 and gets it up to the 30. So Nebraska in good shape field position-wise. Harold Watson, the defensive back, making the stop. 20-yard return for Josh Davis. The last 3 possessions of the second quarter, Nebraska netted only 1 first down. They really bogged down. They stalled offensively. At one point, they were up 28-13. And then all of a sudden, with about 10-11 minutes left in the half, Texas Tech sees the momentum.
Time to get back to power football.
Dietrich with a power play from Lamont Anderson, the junior from Irving, Texas. First half numbers, James, pretty close.
Yeah, and the rushing yards by Nebraska, no surprise. The passing yards there. But I think the 43 yards of rushing by Texas Tech is a little bit deceiving. Ricky Williams, 8 yards per carry when he touched the football. They haven't been able to stop him on the ground.
2nd and 10. After the big hit by Anderson on Dietrich. Will that be the tone for the second half? Crouch in the low snap out of the gun. Haven't seen that much, have we? And a huge pop, but a completion to Ben Cornelson. Kevin Curtis stuck him. Cornelson held on.
81, Ben Cornelson.
And a first down for the Huskers.
Great catch by Cornelson. Big hit by Kevin Curtis. We talked about him at the outset of the ball game. Almost dislodged that ball.
You did see the ball almost pop out. 18 yards on the reception, the first of the game for the young man from Shawnee, Kansas. Crouch, Dietrich on the option. A good pursuit by Flugents.
Dietrich, the ball carrier.
Still he gets about 5.
Yeah, you've got to be able to run. Lawrence Flugents can do that. People forget linebackers, most of the linebackers at one time, whether Pee Wee football, high school, they were running backs. They have to be able to find the hole just like the running back does, and they're fighting off that first block by the center of the guard, trying to slip off the double team to get to them.
Second, a little less than 5, called it 2nd and 4. Misdirection this time for Dietrich.
Oh, Flugents missed it in the hole.
Breaks the arm tackle to Flugents, as you mentioned it. Easy first down inside the 37. Finally, Hawkins gets to him. But he could have been stopped for almost no gain.
Yeah, and Lawrence Flugents has a chance to step up here in the gap and make the play. He reads it. He knows it's the ISO play, and it's him on the running back, and that time Darren Dietrich wins.
Number 1 ground game of the nation, 339 yards of contest. And they have been efficient on the ground so far tonight. Close to 200 yards so far. Dietrich. This time can't get away. Aycock got him after he was slowed down in the backfield.
And now Texas Tech has Nebraska where they want them. In a down and distance situation that they're not used to. Good rushing yards, 5.9 per carry. And you're trying to get the outside seal. Nice job fighting off that block. Oh, I don't like that block coming back on Aaron Hunt. You blocked him, then you go to chop those knees. That's kind of in the gray area right there.
Nebraska.
2nd and 10. Dietrich gets to the edge. Close to another first down. Going down to the arms of Ocelio Hansen. So getting back to what they do best, although it all started, don't forget, with the 18-yard completion to Cornelson. Dietrich, their leading running back this year.
And you talked in the first quarter about this guy wearing on you. He does wear defenses down.
Here's their number 1 eye back, the junior from Scarborough, Ontario. First recruit by Nebraska ever. A scholarship recruit out of Canada. 225 pounds. He does pack a wallop. They get the first down. Crouch on the option. Hits the crease in a hurry. Another first down and almost a face mask on Kevin Curtis.
I think he got him by his helmet more than the face mask there.
They took away the pitch, didn't they?
You know, this is not the triple option. He's not going to give it to the fullback. He just spins. He's going. See the fullback heading outside. Fullback becomes the lead blocker. But there's the gap, and Eric Crouch is going to take that gap every time.
Another first down on this drive that started for the Cornhuskers at their own 30. On the ground, Eric Crouch, 8 carries, 34 yards. Fullback diving through, Paul Castle. He's in there for the injured Jed Davies.
And that's the same play that Jed Davies scored on early in the ball game.
Brought down by Mike Smith.
Castle a load as well. Low to the ground at 5'10", 235 pounds.
We talked about Lawrence Flugents overrunning the play early. This time, it's just such a quick handoff. You don't expect Castle, and it's a nice mess because Eric Crouch continues to run down the line after the ball is put in the belly of the fullback.
Second and short. Crouch following the fullback. He's in. Touchdown, Nebraska. Calming the restless natives for the moment.
That's easy for you to say.
Because they were booing this team, and the referees in particular, on the way to the locker room.
Talk about quarterbacks reading the coverage when they're in the pocket. Imagine trying to read the coverage as you run down the line of scrimmage running 4-4.
55 touchdowns on the ground in his career, the most in NCAA history by a quarterback. Millard North High School wears number 7. Love John Elway. Runs it even a little better than Elway, doesn't he? Rolling the first time they had it in the second half. And regaining the lead by 7 over the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. You have to touch it offensively. Eric Crouch now with 210 yards of total offense on the Nissan scoring drive for the Huskers. A little more than 4 minutes off the clock, and he finished it off with a 7-yard run.
And 4 touchdowns for the 3 by air, 1 on the ground. I don't think he's finished yet.
Just warming it up. Brown kicks it away, another short one. And Welker gets it just past the 20, but good coverage and good hang time. He was already down. It came loose.
Just throws your timing off that high kick. Josh Brown is doing an excellent job on that.
Kyle Ringenberg, the tight end, on the coverage.
Talked about Eric Crouch reading the coverage. He's going to read this defensive end going upfield, but the big block is this wide receiver on the outside, a crackback block on the strong safety. Takes the pitch man. I go upfield, and right there on the numbers, on the hash, boom.
Did anybody get a license number? Red Raiders at their own 23. They've been in this position before. Welker was a big play guy in the first half, along with Carlos Francis. 201 yards of total offense for Kingsbury in the first 30 minutes of play. Not slowing down, wide open and over throws Mickey Peters.
He didn't know, Mickey Peters just did not run through the ball effectively. They had 3 receivers on that side, and look what he's done. He's hit his wide receivers, the tight ends. Yeah, the running backs 3 catches, 15 yards, just enough to keep them honest. But I think the tight ends have been a big number in this ballgame. Oh, just off the fingertips. But he has to throw that ball away from the free safety, so he did a good job there.
Second and 10 for the 23. 2 to each side for Kingsbury. They show the blitz. Here it comes. Williams can't get away. Slow down, otherwise he's gone. John Clapp, big stop, the junior, Glendale, Arizona.
And you're hoping that the defensive linemen are going to kind of run themselves out of the play, but when you have a blitz coming from the other side, those linemen then are a little more tentative. They're looking for those things. And first 7 games in the first half, they had only allowed 34 points. Tonight's ball game, obviously 28 points. But they're stepping it up right here.
Crowd coming alive, 78,000 strong on homecoming. Third down, nothing doing. That little bubble you talked about, Carlos Francis, the wide receiver, couldn't get away.
Yeah, nice read by Jeremy Slechta. He felt offensive lineman giving him like a little funny read. He said, hey, they're not pass blocking me. I know something's coming on the outside.
Husker defensive unit, second to the nation in scoring defense. Finally a stop there. They've come into the game giving up only 8 points a contest over the first 7.
Yeah, but Tech had their chance on first down. Wide open receiver missed.
Greathouse kicking to DeJuan Gross. Gross with a block from the 23. Still on his feet. Great field position to the 41. We'll come back. Cornhuskers short field after the return by Gross. They already lead by 7. Former home of our director Ken Fouts. Crouch scrambling, can't get away as he's slowed down.
Crouch, the ball carrier.
Rodney McKinney getting to him finally, the rush in.
Now, Our director, Ken Fouts, lived up there, and they still left the light on for him, thinking that one day he's going to return.
Quasimodo was in that room just before Ken. 2nd and 10 coming up after the good stop on first down. By Tech, and now Tech's defense has to step up. Nebraska getting it at their own 41. On top 35-28. Great fake by Crouch. Tailback Eric Crouch with a flag late out of the secondary. He's got more than enough for the first down. Hanson and Aycock making the stop.
When you got to stretch him out that long, if you're not knocking him off the football, you're holding.
And Crouch, did you see him grab the small of his back on the left side? Like he took a shot going down. Crouch looking like he's in pain.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat 2nd down.
Now, that's a rules violation. Now, here's a little bending of the rules. There's the numbers. Look at this big pile of guys out here. If they're outside the numbers, they can be on the field. And now Texas Tech has no idea what offensive configuration is coming out on the football field. I think one of the offseason rule changes that the NCAA must make, these guys should be beyond the boundary, not on the field, because that doesn't give the defense an equal opportunity.
So working it to their advantage. As you said, bending the rules.
Not that coaches would ever do that.
After the mark off, Crouch with a deep drop. And a wide open tight end. Bowling can't hang on again.
And his hands were a little too wide open. And, you know, up in the student body section, they're going, who's this Bowling guy? Where's Wistrom? Wistrom has a knee injury. Hopefully he'll be back for the Oklahoma game. And I mean, you're just so wide open. You're thinking, I want to turn upfield, make the play. You make the catch first. Even if you fall down, you've made the catch. You can't run before you catch the football.
So now Crouch in the 3rd and long. It would have been a first down had the tight end held on. They had a catch early, but he's dropped a couple since. Pressure on the outside. Screen set up. Thunder Collins in the open field. Look out. And barely bumped out of bounds by the defensive back, Anthony Terrell.
360 pounds. Tonu Fonete gets out in front on this run. And if he's out in front, you move out of the way. And then a big guy like that, then a little guy named Thunder coming after him. I didn't like the blitz call there on 3rd and 15 against Nebraska.
Screen was the perfect call.
Yeah, not a lot good can happen on 3rd and 15 if you blitz Nebraska.
Huge first down for the Huskers. Crouch hiding it well. Great block for the fullback. And through the hole, and a gaping one at that for another first down. Pulled down by Aycock.
Another big block on the outside. Troy Hasselbrook.
L Television's most unique brand, Sportsnet. From the 24, Thunder Collins shot down. We go downstairs to Eric Clemens.
All right, guys, thank you. You know, Frank Solich is one of the most polite and humble people we've ever met in the Big 12, but he's not polite when it comes to his quarterback and the Heisman Trophy. He says, hands down, Eric Crouch is the best player in the nation right now. He does everything to help his team, and he's a member of that 3,000 club. Voters, don't punish my quarterback because he does damage on the ground as well as in the air, guys.
He's got a touchdown on the ground, 3 through the air, and he's got Thunder Collins on the bench. Close to another first down, shy by about 3. Hawkins on his back. 55 touchdowns to the ground for Eric Crouch.
Talked about Judd Davies being out of the ball game. Paul Castle comes in kind of a miniature Judd Davies. He's 5'10", 230 pounds, but he's quick, and he gets on Kevin Curtis, knocks him out of the way, goes at the legs, and the guy's going at your legs, you got to move out of the way. But look at Curtis back in on the tackle.
Third and short, Crouch eluding the pressure, but
didn't pick up the first down.
Did he get enough? No. He stopped by about 1.5 yards. Mike Smith, the redshirt freshman who moved into the starting lineup last week with the ankle tackle. Got the field goal unit on for the first time for Nebraska.
Now this would be a good spot for the fake. mean, the 3 points are nice here, but to get 7 out of this.
Josh Brown with a field goal attempt. They haven't needed him all that much. They get into the end zone most of the time.
Here we got a late entry. We talked about being down one person at tight end.
It is going to be a 33-yard attempt. Plenty of distance. Right down the middle. 10-point lead for the Cornhuskers on the 33-yard field goal by the junior from Foyle, Oklahoma. Huskers with all 10 so far in the third quarter. The first 10 minutes of the third quarter. 10 consecutive points after it was tied at 28 at the break. Ivory McCann waiting for the Josh Brown kickoff, and it's going to be another Cooch. Welker battling. It's taken away, though, on a fair catch.
I didn't see the fair catch signal there.
Leonard Christensen, the linebacker, with the football. So Tech at their 24. Second time they've had it. They don't have a first down yet, though, in the second half. College football double. Our kickoff time right here on Fox Sports Net. Just a little difference in offense so far in the quarter. Quarterback draw for Kingsbury. Don't see that much, and he breaks away. Big guy at 6'4". Kingsbury doing a great job to get to the 49-yard line, and then hurt on his way down, grabbing his left wrist. Deion Booker jumped on his back.
I know it's not the thing to do in college football. Cliff Kingsbury, not a great runner. Doesn't look like he eats a lot. Slide. Go ahead and slide. Don't take the punishment that Deion Booker wants to dish out on you.
6'4", 210-pounder Kingsbury, a junior from San Antonio.
That's with all his equipment on, 210 pounds.
Out of the gun. Ricky Williams on the delay, waiting for the block. Little seal for the 47, a gain of about 4. A couple of tough quarterbacks on display tonight. Crouch and Kingsbury. And we talked about that very subject with Frank Solich.
Both of them have a history of showing their toughness in football games, and it's been play after play for both of them. Eric really showing his toughness mainly from the running aspect, and Kingsbury, of course, showing his mainly from the passing aspect. But both of them pull themselves up, put themselves in the huddle, call the next play, and go to work again. And you got to respect those two guys there as good as it gets.
Heat coming on Kingsbury, and it's just barely knocked away from Clay McGuire by Scott Shanley, the strong side linebacker.
Boy, he had him too. And Coach Kingsbury, we had a defensive coordinator early in the season call him Gumby. And he said, I say that with all due respect, because we'll hit him, twist him, and he just bounces back up. And that time he's taking the big hit after the blitz. And you know what? Shanley must watch the replay board as he's running down the field, because he knows exactly when to put his hand up. And Mickey Peters just thought he had 6 points there.
He really read the eyes of the wide receiver.
They get big when the ball gets close.
Timed it well. 3 for 9 on third downs. There's a 3rd and 7. Pocket holds up for Kingsbury. Floating, it's Peters. Peters right at the marker.
He is right at the mark.
Didn't get a great spot on the far side. Whatever the near side linesman running in. Mark Vedral got him right in the chest.
If he's on the line, it looks like he got it.
May require a measurement for the first time tonight.
Why don't you take your bifocals off and tell me if you got it?
The last time an opponent, and to give Tech credit where credit is due, 28 or more points in the first half against Nebraska. Got to go back to the '88 season. Troy Aikman was the quarterback for UCLA, and UCLA scored 38. Score at halftime, UCLA 38. Nebraska 13 at the Rose Bowl. Safe to say UCLA prevailed that day. Inches away. As I said, it didn't look like a great spot for Tech.
But you know what? If they don't line up in bump and run coverage, Kingsbury could just raise up and pop the ball to somebody. I mean, everybody thinks, you know, jam this thing up the middle. They're going to put somebody over the nose of the center. See, the center's uncovered here.
Will it be a sneak? Yes, Kingsbury's got to the 40-yard line. He's 6'4", so makes sense. He timed it, got it quickly. Didn't give Nebraska much time to react, did he?
No, and you don't want to give the crowd a lot of time to get into it either. quickly, and those guys get nice and low. Rex Roberts, Toby Cecil. Yeah, big Anton Page over there playing referee at the top.
This is almost a must-produce drive for Texas Tech with so much working on the side of Nebraska right now. Almost 12 minutes gone in the third quarter.
Got a blitz coming right here. This guy's coming.
Ricky Williams slithering his way to the outside. He's got another first down to the 29.
Ricky Williams, the ball carrier.
Check in once again with Eric Clemens. Eric.
All right, guys, time for the Subway game summary. Right now we have a track meet in Cliff Kingsbury. You see some of his numbers tonight. He's over 200 yards throwing. Eric Crouch has kept it balanced. He is almost at 200 yards passing himself. But Nebraska, the big edge in total offense, guys.
Yeah, you don't get the punt return on those stats, though. And that has kept Texas Tech in this ballgame.
That was the 85-yarder. First 7 points of the game. Wes Welker. Kingsbury on first down for the 29. Thought there'd be early pressure and just throws it away. It almost looked like he felt more than was actually there.
Now, Eric Clemens mentioned track meet. I don't care how fast you are. There's not a guy on Texas Tech's campus could have caught that ball.
That's a good 15 yards over the head of Mickey Peters.
But you know what? You're also in an area of the field where you don't want to look around and take a sack. And that's a smart move by Kingsbury because you got 2 more downs to kind of get it close enough, possibly into field goal territory, if not into the end zone.
8th play of the drive coming up. It started back on the Tech 24. Over the second time they've had the ball in the second half. That's how much Nebraska has owned the ball in the third quarter. Good protection. Kingsbury behind a little bit. King Scoville.
Yeah, but see, if he catches that, then you've got 3rd and 2. Now you've got 3rd and 10.
Kingsbury in the passing department. He's put up a bunch. Averages 47 attempts a game. He's now 17 of 37 for 205.
Not as accurate as he normally is, but they've gone downtown more often today and with more success.
And he has looked, James, for Carlos Francis, who's his big play guy. 2 to each side. Critical 3rd down. Any kind of yardage. Barely got enough in time, and he's got Welker. He's got a 1st and goal inside the 8. What a time to find it.
Wes Welker has the ability to catch the ball in his hands and turn quickly. Some guys catch, they make possession, but you talk about paying the price. That's Cliff Kingsbury getting pounded. But it's all worth it. I mean, this hurts if your receiver doesn't catch it. If he catches it, you're fine. He threw it to the outside shoulder, and that's where he pivoted to. I mean, they practice that. The shoulder that you throw it to is the shoulder that the receiver turns upfield from.
Williams in the backfield, and also joining him now, one of the few times the fullback, Foy Munlin. It'll be a circle play for Williams. Didn't circle much. Reading it perfectly. The linebacker, Burrow, middleman, got out quickly.
Because that ball's thrown behind the line of scrimmage, they would have liked the uncovered lineman to get out and be in front of Burrow. A one-man screen. Hope that big guy doesn't turn his right ankle. They don't have enough tape or ice for a little red.
They're up by 10. He's easily deflatable when they're down by 10. 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Now 2nd and goal at the 14. His stunt doesn't produce pressure. Kingsbury back into the end zone. Carlos Francis well covered.
Yeah, and he wanted to go to Ricky Williams out the backfield one-on-one. They ran it to the short side of the field, and Mark Vedrill's talking to him. He says, I've seen that before. Checking his wide receivers on the outside. They're kind of running, I don't want to call it decoy routes, but they're really not running full speed because they know what's coming. And there's Francis breaking free open. Anton Page is way on the other side of the field now. He's matched up one-on-one. They're going to put Pat Ricketts over here to give him a little help, though.
3rd and goal again for the 14. Flushed out. Kingsbury short of the tight end on that side. Cole Roberts. But a good idea not to lose yardage. Just set up for the field goal.
Exactly.
Trace has come through a couple of times tonight. And for the most part of that drive, great protection for Kingsbury. Flushed out a little bit there. Treese hitting tonight from 35 and 42. The 42 a new career best. 2 of 2 tonight. 6 of 8 on the season. And now a huge one at 31 yards. The attempt is up. Does it again. And it's a touchdown ball game.
The kick is good.
A 7-point margin again. Treese coming through in the clutch. 38-31 Nebraska. Taken for the Huskers at the 5. On the low line drive, he's got a seam, but gets popped crossing the 25. Marcus Boyd, the defensive back, knocking him down near the 30. The Heisman hopefuls today, Eric Crouch, he's accounted for 4. Dorsey, a day off. Harrington, 3 touchdown passes, but a loss at home. Their first after 23 consecutive wins for the Oregon Ducks. UCLA coming up after our game. Sean Foster and the Bruins against Cal.
A couple guys who didn't make the list. Woodrow Dantzler kind of slipping a little bit, and also quarterback from Fresno State, David Carr.
Dietrich weaving his way. There he goes into the secondary. Wilson Thomas trying to provide a block downfield. Sandler knocked him out. But big yardage on first down to the midfield strike.
Yeah, but if you're Texas Tech, you got to think the next play. Not, oh man, we let them out of a hole. The next play. The next play is the important play. Darren Dietrich over 100 yards in this ball game, 7 yards per carry almost. Frank Solich is thinking, you know, if we ran it once and it worked, why not run it again?
32 consecutive homecoming victories for Nebraska. Texas Tech trying to spoil the party. Crouch will have something to say, won't he? Boy, he can take on a guy too, can he? Took on Kevin Curtis and got 3 or 4 extra.
He's trying to get Castle out of his way there. Castle, you know, he says, you know, when we run this in practice, there's normally somebody for me to block. I'm just out here running. Get out of the quarterback's way.
Combined total for Eric Crouch with almost 200 through the air and 72 on the ground now. He averages 96 a game on the ground. He's 3rd in the Big 12 in rushing coming into the contest. Got a pretty decent right arm to boot.
Got an awfully big receiver, number 89 up the top. He's just there to pound people.
Dietrich on the edge. Serious yardage again on first down. Another movement of the chains to the 23. Flugens jumped on his back.
Talked about Eric Crouch's decision making. He reads the defense. He knows where the pressure is coming from. Gets the ball quickly in the hands of the running back, and then it's just clear sailing after that. Watch how quickly he gets rid of the ball. Boom. And there it is downfield. One blocker, Browning. Hasselbeck, the other blocker downfield. There's nobody to touch the ball carrier. Joel, you could have picked up 2 on that one.
Well, Tech is 96th in the nation in stopping the run out of 117 Division I-A teams, giving up a little more than 200 yards per game. Crouch on the checkoff. Barely tripped over his own man. Otherwise, he is down the sideline. So that could be the final snap of the quarter. 7 more for Crouch. He's got 79 on the ground. And that will be the final snap of a 3rd quarter really controlled by the Cornhuskers and number 7, Eric Crouch. So while the nation watches, a Heisman candidate putting on a show, helping the Huskers to 4 touchdowns tonight. Coming weekend, Joel Myers along with, yes, it is James Lofton behind those Foster Grants.
Blinded by the performance of Eric Crouch, and if people are got those Heisman ballots at home, I think they got to be marking them for Eric Crouch right now. And he really is starting to take this ball game over. You know, it was kind of teetering there for a while, but it has been all Eric Crouch in the 3rd, and now we're headed into the 4th quarter.
It has been a dominating performance by Crouch, close to 300 yards in total offense. Fakes to the fullback, gets the first down inside the 12 as he faked it to Castle, brought down by Curtis. And another 100-plus day on our FedEx ground stats for Darren Dietrich. 137 for Dietrich last week in their win. He's got 140 today on 19 carries and the directions of those runs.
Yeah, and I've seen superior blocking down the field. Troy Hasselbrook been there. And the tight ends that have played in the place of Tracy Wistrom have really come in and blocked well down the field.
178 yards of offense for Nebraska in the 3rd quarter compared to 63 for Texas Tech. Crouch wants to throw on first down. And it's intercepted. Picked off by Curtis, the strong safety. They were desperate for a turnover on a 1st and 10 outside of the 11, and they got it.
Bowling, number 84, could not get off the line of scrimmage. Nice job by the linebacker on top of him, holding it up. I want to say it was Mike Smith, number 46. He holds the tight end up at the line of scrimmage. See, Eric Crouch is out there for a long time, waiting for someone to break open. And once he does break open, there in front, here comes Kevin Curtis. We talked about him eyeing Eric Crouch in the option game, but he's also eyeing him in the passing attack. 2 INTs for Kevin Curtis.
Second team All Big 12 last year, and Curtis, the senior from Lubbock, with the play of the day right now for the Red Raiders. Trying to pull off the upset, only down by 7. Opening 30 seconds of the 4th quarter. From their own 20. Now can Kingsbury get it going after only 63 yards of offense in the 3rd quarter. Too tall? Yes, a little bit too tall for Carlos Francis. Poked away from behind, but the defensive backs Erwin Sweeney. Plenty of baseball coming your way tomorrow. 2nd and 10 from the 20. Trips on the short side. Middle screen? No. Ricky Williams over to the left. Ricky Williams breaks free for the 1st down. He's got it across the 32. Ankle tackle by Bingham from behind. Otherwise, big yardage.
And Ricky Williams could feel Bingham coming on him. And you saw him trying to kick up out of that tackle. I like that high step. And for a guy who's 5'9", you don't see those guys high step very often. But boy, Bingham, nice job in pursuing the play. Because, you know, you might say, oh, my job's done. I was rushing the passer. No, that's effort right there. That's effort.
Guys that size, they just don't get jobs as drum majors very often, do they?
No, they don't.
1st and 10 from the 32. Kingsbury finding Peters. And Peters just barely tripped up after he gets 8 more. McPherson saved another big play.
And Craig Bohl, the defensive coordinator for Nebraska, is rolling the dice. So we're going to come after Kingsbury. He's been too comfortable in the pocket. He's getting in a rhythm. Artie Gigantino, our consultant back in Los Angeles, said more zone coverage. Artie may be right this one time. I hate to say it, Artie may be right.
We'll hear from Artie. They'll be in the studio tonight for the UCLA Cal game.
I call him our consultant.
2nd and a deuce. Williams battling, but doesn't get a thing. Tough yardage. Rude over there, the freshman from Lincoln. Downstairs, Eric Clemens.
Yeah, Ricky Williams, I spoke to him before the game. He is back. Remember, this guy was a legitimate Heisman Trophy candidate going into the '99 season when he suffered that severe knee injury that would have knocked most out. He told me, Eric, I'm blessed. I've worked my way back. It takes longer than a year to recover from that kind of injury, and I'm glad I'm in this offense, catching passes and running the football, guys.
All right, Eric, and he gets plenty of touches.
And they're going to need him right now.
Came into the game. He was their leading receiver coming into the contest. 41 grabs for Williams. He may touch it here. 3rd and 2. How big is this? 2 minutes gone in the 3rd. Carlos Francis pulling away. Woo. Got away from Sweeney all the way to the 35. Booker caught up from behind.
Carlos Francis caught that ball, had to stop, a dead stop, and then a little instant acceleration there. And this is the ball club that is playing without Keel Craver. That would have been Keel Craver's spot. Aaron Sweeney, former starters out there. But you run a slant pattern, you think the guy's going to continue to come. No, he stops. When he turns it on, he turns it on. You can tell he's left-handed. He keeps that ball in the left hand.
And the 34, a 1st down very quickly. They've taken it from their own 20 to the 34 of Nebraska. Boy, what impressive numbers for Carlos Francis. 7 for 142. Short drop this time. Francis starting to see it, and I talked about him in the 3rd quarter because we didn't hear from him at all. And now Kingsbury on the same page.
Well, one of the things that we talked about on the walk over to the stadium is their outside receivers had to come up big in this ball game. And I wasn't talking about 9-10 yards a catch. And you saw those numbers on Carlos Francis. Big plays there, and also big plays by Anton Page on the other side. The inside receivers have been getting it done. Cole Roberts, Mickey Peters, Wes Welker. But the outside guys, they could make plays on the outside. What that does is makes Nebraska play all 11.
Inside the 30 on 2nd down. Welker. And now they're going to throw a flag. He was the motion man.
Well, they didn't get lined up and hold it for a second before the snap.
Took a shot from Burrow and Ricketts at the end of the play. Felt that one up here.
Carlos Francis, 2 men in motion. Carlos Francis was late getting lined up.
Close to South Dakota, I thought you could get away with that. The border. Illegal shift on Nebraska. Our Texas Tech, of course, with the ball. So now the options. Decline it. They lost yardage. College Football Saturday presented by Kia Sarah continues on Fox Sports Net. What a game tonight between Texas Tech and Nebraska. It's been so long since Nebraska gave up points like this.
Shifts on the offense. 2 men in motion at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
They will take the 5-yard mark off. Instead of setting up a third in about 6 or 7. So now it's going to be 2nd and 11. Back at the 35. If you're an offense like Texas Tech, I got to believe you like that call, that you get an extra snap. Welker, the fake on the motion man. And Francis can't get away. Well covered by Sweeney that time.
They tried a high-low on the short side of the field after that play action fake, and they took away the high coverage. They had to dump it off underneath, lose a couple of yards there. Now they need the big play. Who can provide it? They backed off of Anton Page. Gross is not up on him in bump and run, and 3rd down conversion for the season. Kind of low today, though. But a big one here would erase all those numbers.
Need to take it inside the 24. Pocket holds up. Kingsbury floating it down for Page. And it falls incomplete. They were battling the defensive back on that side. Almost like in basketball, you call it a low bridge when Page or Gross was getting Page underneath while he was trying to go up.
Well, Page runs the fade pattern, and you'd like him to take an outside release. He goes inside, and once he goes inside, the cornerback is really at the advantage. You see where the ball's thrown to his outside. If he still goes outside, he's tall enough where he can go up over Gross and make that play.
So Kingsbury to the sideline.
You got B.J. Simons in, number 4, the backup quarterback.
And now they are going to try it, although you mentioned the backup quarterback's in there. It's going to be a 53-yard attempt. Robert Trees 3 for 3. No, it's going to be Greathouse instead, and it's going to be a proof punt. Can he get it out of bounds inside the 10? No. It'll find the end zone. Tough break because he rolled it really well, but it didn't angle.
He got a little too greedy. He was trying to get inside the 5. Ball just kept going straight on him.
So they stall once they get it to the Nebraska 35. Still a 7-point lead for the Cornhuskers. Did not produce any points. Only a 7-point lead, though, for Nebraska, getting it back at their own 20. Crouch on the fake to Collins. They get huge yardage on 1st down. Can't stop the run. They chew up some clock. 13 on that carry for Eric Crouch. Now, William Taylor Dykes took over the Red Raider football program in 1986. Better known as Spike, Dykes is the winningest coach in Texas Tech history. Amassing 82 wins in 13 years, he was the Southwest Conference Coach of the Year 3 times. Won the inaugural Big 12 Coach of the Year award. Spike Dykes retired in 1999. The program still has his stamp all over it. And boy, he's got to love the way the Red Raiders are playing tonight. He recruited Cliff Kingsbury, recruited Ricky Williams, so many of the players here. Spike Dykes was in the living room talking to their parents.
I saw him recruiting that official on the sideline. When you can make an official laugh during the course of a ball game, you know you're doing something. And Kingsbury up to 50% completions, and he's been getting it done tonight under some pressure from a pretty tough Nebraska front 7.
290 yards passing, leads the Big 12, comes in averaging 312 a game. Los Angeles native Thunder Collins is the I-back. Crouch, boy, good penetration as they push him down. Aaron Hunt sealed it,
winning
partner.
At the line of scrimmage. You know, last year we talked to Greg McMackin about the feather defense and stretching them out, and I think his guys took that feather being lightly. This time they're stretching them out, but the defensive linemen are winning at the line of scrimmage. They're pushing the guys back. That time it really knocked them off the ball, and Greg McMackin had a lot of things planned for this ball game. I don't think he thought it would be a high-scoring affair like it is on both sides, but his defense has come up with timely plays.
Loss of a couple. Another tackle for loss by Aaron Hunt, their sack leader this year. He had 3 sacks last week in the win over K-State. Crouch with time and almost intercepted. The defensive back, Anthony Terrell, had it in and out of his hands.
Did a nice job in showing blitz pressure and then dropping back into zone coverage. Confusing Eric Crouch, getting into... See, Terrell's all the way up in the line of scrimmage, and watch number 3 drop back, read the quarterback's eyes. That's why they play defense. Oh, you made me say that, Joel.
I have nothing to do with that commentary. So 1 first down and a punt.
They're doubling the outside guys for Welker.
And you better not let Wes Welker touch the football. Larson. He does let him catch it.
Good high kick.
Puts it to the boundary. Welker on the short side. Can't get away. He did pin him to the boundary, though. The 21-yard line is the starting point of the drive for Texas Tech. When we come back, Gross with great coverage, 79 yards, still paid here. Aaron Hunt of Texas Tech came up with a whale of a play. Kingsbury throwing on first down. Welker using the sideline. Collared out and put down by Scott Shanley. A good yardage on first down for the Red Raiders. They get about 5, almost 6. Plenty of touches tonight for Welker.
Nice job by Kingsbury. Zone coverage. Take what the defense gives you. And when they get man coverage, then you take what you want, because you get the matchups that you want at that period.
8:46 remaining in the game. All 3 timeouts left from both Texas Tech and Nebraska. Red Raiders hanging tough. Giving up 382 on the crossing pattern.
Oh, he didn't get
right
much
at
of
the
a mark
marker.
there.
He went out at the 32. They put him down across the 31.
But
he still may have it.
He stuck that ball out in front of him, and that's the same as breaking the plane for the goal line. He didn't get a great mark there.
Smart play by Mickey Peters. Another reception. He's second behind Francis tonight. That is the 5th catch of the night for Peters. Peters and Roberts so key to this offensive scheme.
And they give you 2 different looks. Now watch him reach the ball forward. Reaches it forward. He doesn't get all of that mark.
Change from the other side all the way to the near side. See if he's got it by a few inches. Yes. First down, Texas Tech. Trailing 38-31. In a game they came into, they were a huge underdog. More than 3 touchdowns in that direction. And winning at Nebraska on homecoming night, where Nebraska's won 32 straight on homecoming. As tough as finding a $3 bill. 86-3 for the Cornhuskers over the last 14 years at home. You just don't come out of here with wins very often. From the 31. Running of time for Kingsbury. Anton Page. You saw the defensive back trying to pop it out, Gross, and then Gross took a shot.
Booker got Gross. Mike Leach said, we will stay in our wide splits. The wider we are, the better we think we can block them. Lance Williams, number 67, to fill in for this ball game, has done a great job. That time he's blocking against Casey Nelson, and they're rotating about 6 guys up front. So they're keeping fresh defensive tackles, fresh defensive ends in, and you're sending the same 5 blockers out there. They've done a good job in protecting Kingsbury. If they're playing on grass, his uniform would be pretty clean. It's got a little blood on it from this field turf from his elbows, but that's about it.
Ricky Williams in the flat if he needs him. Instead, on first down, taking the tackler is Cole Roberts, 6'6", 250-pounder.
And Ricky Williams trying to give Jamie Burrow a little shot there away from the play.
So a short gain on the completion. Clock running inside of 8 minutes to play. Kingsbury now 27 of 51, make it 28 of 52 with the last one. And now he is over 301 yards with a touchdown toss.
Now he's got his big tight end, number 84, Cole Roberts right there. So he's got the big guy up there, giving him the blitz look. They'll back out of this.
Dead ball foul coming up.
You know,
and a penalty flag coming down. Right. Late hit. Kelsey.
Was it Damani Adams or was it Kelsey?
It was either Des Moines Adams or Chris Kelsey. They were right in the face of the quarterback and John Bible, and it may have been Adams. John Bible said, hey, wait a minute, you guys heard the whistle too.
Before the snap occurred, false start on the offense. After the play was over, personal foul on the defense. 5-yard penalty on the offense, 15 yards on the defense.
It could have been the junior from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. It might have been Des Moines Adams.
And he's just thinking, you know, I'm going to get licked on the quarterback. You can hear the whistle. You hear it. And Gumby does a nice job falling. But when he gets back up, he's in one piece again.
He has had one incredible night, Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week.
You know, he's a heck of a quarterback. And like we said at the beginning, two distinctly different quarterbacks in this ball game. But each of them adding the extra element in. We've seen Kingsbury move around, run around a little bit. And Eric Crouch has done a fantastic job throwing the football tonight, although he's thrown a couple interceptions.
And could have had a third picked off on the last series by Terrell. From the 38 of Nebraska. Tech trying to tie it up with 7:20 to play. Dump off for Ricky Williams. Whoa, takes a pounding and gives one out to Merwin Sweeney.
I think he was given more pounding than taken on that one.
Boy, did he lower his shoulder.
And when you're 5'9", it doesn't take a lot to lower your shoulder. And guys aren't going to get underneath you when you're that tall. And he finishes off the run well. And that's kind of a statement. You know, Nebraska doesn't huddle up defensively, but I'm watching a lot of guys standing around with their hands on their hips. And that signals that they're a little fatigued. They're used to being 3 and off. 4 straight 300-yard passing game, a Tech record, and a Kingsbury record also. Career.
Last week he threw for 409. Third time that he's thrown for better than 400 yards in his career. Kingsbury with the pocket holding up. And his receivers stopped on the pattern. Carlos Francis at about the 15.
Did a good job getting rid of the football. And he's shaking his head. He's, you know, I didn't get what I wanted out of the route from Carlos Francis. But now we move on to the next play. And I talked about rotating guys in, and this time Ryan Bingham coming through. He's going to beat Lance Williams right at the end. It's enough, just a little takedown there, just to let him know I was close and thinking about him.
5 for 14 on third down tries. Too far from field goal range, you would think. Career best for Treese earlier, a 42-yarder. Be better than 50 if they had to take it. Just in time, the fade for Page. Jump ball knocked away.
Boy,
Gross did it again.
Physical battle between those two out there. And rightly so, the officials are letting them play. When you get a guy who's 6'5", nearing 200 pounds, and get a physical guy like DeJuan Gross, let him fight for the ball. Gross gets that left arm on him, then Page gets his left arm on him. Just can't keep his feet to keep his balance. We talked about playing the deep ball. Keep your body on his, time your jump. Good job by Gross.
They will keep the offense on the field on fourth down. Kingsbury back into the huddle.
If I have 3 timeouts here, I go ahead and use one if I don't like what I see at the line of scrimmage if I'm Cliff Kingsbury.
Play clock down. Kingsbury has to hurry. It's inside of 5.
I go ahead and use it. Toby Cecil's pointing at the play clock.
And he will do exactly that.
Good job by his center.
Don't rush into a mistake. Play of the game coming up for the Tech offense, trailing by 7. We'll find out what they do when we come back to Lincoln on 4th and 6. Benches on the sideline as well. 4th and 6, Texas Tech. Nebraska leading 38-31. It'll be Carlos Francis. Who will it be for Cliff Kingsbury? Ricky Williams possibly. Great time for Kingsbury. And going for the home run with Antoine Page or make it Carlos Francis. Is he out of bounds?
Yes. Good call. You can get pushed out. Nice job by Sweeney. Getting the push on Carlos Francis. I think he could have let him in bounds and a little shorter and caused contact by Sweeney. Doesn't come down in bounds because you can get pushed out of bounds. This is not like the NFL where if you're in bounds and you get pushed out, they call it a catch. But you must come down with 1 foot. That's Lornell McPherson, number 1, making the play, not Sweeney.
Tech with 2 timeouts remaining, 6-11 in the 4th quarter.
They want to review this play maybe.
unsportsmanlike coming up against Texas Tech.
Yeah, there are probably some words on the Texas Tech sideline. That's unfortunate.
Well, now they've almost got it in midfield.
And Mike Leach wants to know who it is. Talking to Sonny Dykes, his assistant coach, he said, you find out who it is. You talk to him. That's way on the other side of the field. We couldn't see it.
So now from the 34, step off 15, all of a sudden 2 first downs basically from a field goal try. Crouch keeping it. Into Ryan Aycock. 5 on first down for Eric Crouch. Crouch has thrown for 196 yards tonight. That's been the big surprise. 3 touchdowns because they haven't had to throw it. But it's interesting, James, because 2 out of the last 3 weeks meeting with Frank Solich, he said 20 to 22 times a game I'd like to throw it. And they've thrown it 22 times tonight.
I think they've shown the versatility of the offense. The thing that concerns me is just the injuries that they've suffered today.
Crouch, 99 yards on the ground. He'll give it up to Dietrich. Perimeter. He's got big yardage. Bumped out by Curtis. First down, Nebraska. Already in field goal territory. At the 28.
You hear coaches say it, and Dietrich, they took out one of the photographers at the end of the play. They need pads on down there. Watch on the outside. Jonathan Hawkins makes a play at the quarterback. No one has the pitch man. That's an assignment error right there. And at the tail end of the play, that's an assignment error too. You're standing too close to the field.
Tough shot for the cameraman. You can see
he's still down.
The back of his head hit. Fortunately up now, and here we go. Nebraska 1st and 10 at the Tech 28-yard line, leading by 7. Crouch again. What moves? Great feet. Mike Smith wraps him up, but big chunks. About 4, almost 5 on first down for Eric Crouch. Over the century mark for the second consecutive week.
Line up in the big power eye. Actually looks like they're trying to hide a guy back there, but can't hide. He's got 11 out there. And here's your lead blocker if you do pitch, and then your pitch man is right behind him.
299 total yards of offense now for Eric Crouch. What a catalyst he has been for the Huskers. The fullback on the call, Castle down to the 21, short of the first down by 3. But valuable time being chewed up. Inside of 5 to play.
Okay, time to pick it up a little bit if you're Texas Tech. Who's going to step up and make a play? They took a defensive back out of the play now. Now they put in an extra lineman, so they're going to have 5 down linemen for the next snap.
Big night for Eric Crouch. We'll see if Deshaun Foster keeps it up as well. Cal, UCLA up next on Fox Sports Net. Foster with 301 yards rushing against Washington. Play clock winding down, and Eric Crouch is going to be forced to use a timeout, the first of the half for Nebraska.
They saw that 5th defensive lineman come in. They didn't have what they wanted.
So the personnel not ready for Nebraska. We'll find out what they do on 3rd and short in Lincoln. It's like a baseball stadium. Rally caps on. They are getting into it in Lincoln on homecoming Saturday. College football Saturday presented by Kyocera continues. One of the great places to watch college football. And I talked about 3 in particular in the Big 12. Austin, Lincoln, and Norman. Great tradition. Sensational football for so long, and it continues. What a matchup in the Big 12 tonight on Fox Sports Net. 3rd and 3 for the Huskers. Power formation for Crouch.
Power formation by them. 5 defensive linemen up front.
Crouch won't get to the first down. Shut down a yard shy as he's tripped up by Mike Smith. Eric Crouch better than 300 yards of total offense. Deshaun Foster, #1 rusher in the nation, coming up next. Heisman candidates on Fox Sports Net and our twin Bill. And now the field goal try for Josh Brown. He's hit a 33-yarder on his only attempt and only his 4th try of the year. He's 2 of 4. 3.5 to play with the clock moving. Will they put it out of reach for Texas Tech? Long enough and good. Inside the upright. Brown gets it done. 2-score game now for Texas Tech.
Look at Josh Brown with that straight-on look. Paul McDonald trying to come up over the top. Can't get there, gets cut down. Brown all pumped up about his efforts there on the field goal kick, but he's done a nice job on kickoffs with those pooch kicks.
So a 36-yarder for number 26. And tomorrow the league championship series continues at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox and Fox Sports Net. Yankees Mariners game 4. Yanks lead it 2-1. And game 5, Arizona and Atlanta, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. So check your local listings for the game and also the channel in your area.
Is Randy Johnson on the mound next time for Arizona?
He went in the opener.
Yep, big lefty.
10-point lead for the Huskers with 3:25 to play. Huskers were not taking Texas Tech lightly coming into this game. They were not looking ahead to Oklahoma. Brown's done it again. Little boost. Fair catch called for. Toby Shane cleanly that time. No adventures. And Tech will have it 1st and 10. Near their own 30. The executive producer of Fox Sports Net, he's Bill Vorson. Coordinating producers, College Football Saturday, Roy Hamilton and Gary Garcia. Tonight's game produced by Mike Elling, directed by Ken Fouts. College Football Saturday studio show, produced by Loy Maxson, directed by Chip Terrell. And the head of field operations is Andrea Berry. Joel Myers, James Lofton, Eric Clemens in Lincoln. And some auspicious numbers offensively. Over 900 between the two. Too tall for the tight end, Cole Roberts. Well, now looking ahead, and maybe we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves. Still plenty of time for Texas Tech.
Sure.
They can get a quick score. But so many injuries. Both tackles
and
for
inquiring
Nebraska.
minds 1-0 too.
Both tackles hurt. Craver out of the game. Gross has been nicked up but stayed in there. There's a lot of guys out right now for Nebraska getting ready for Oklahoma.
And I think that the training room is going to be an important area. None of the guys look like they were injured overly seriously, but an ankle injury going up against the team that's rated number 2 in the country slows you down just enough.
Quick score needed by Kingsbury and Tech, down by 10. Francis to the 38, short of the first down by 2. Sweeney wrapped him up in the open field.
That's the play that I would have liked on first down. Then it would give you options. And now it's kind of nail-biting time, but it's also 2-down territory, really. And up next, Cal and UCLA. Big Bears against the Little Bears.
That's right after our matchup in Lincoln. But they're not calling plays at the line of scrimmage. Taking a little bit too much time. Francis pushing the defensive back out of the way and taking a shot of his own at the end of the play.
Yeah, he sure did. You know, you got a single receiver side with Antoine Page on it. You have 2 guys running down the field. I don't get throwing it kind of into a crowd.
He cleared out and then he got clocked.
Yeah. Because right there at the tail end, Philip Bland comes in and just cleans them up.
Then on 4th and 2.
Now with Francis out, you almost have to go to Anton Page. He's down here on the 3 wide receiver side on the wide side of the field.
Kingsbury with Welker. First down. Welker won't go down. That'll stop the clock with the first down. Into Nebraska territory inside the 49. Do not count out Texas Tech.
You can tell when a team gets fatigued, and Nebraska's a little fatigued defensively. 4 guys around the ball carrier. Everybody's waiting for someone else to make the tackle. In the first quarter, all 4 guys converged on Welker. Now they're going, oh, well, I thought you were going to make the tackle. You make the tackle.
I said the over-under was about 60 tries, 60 attempts for Kingsbury. He's right on that number. Francis getting away from Sweeney. He's got another first down. That'll stop the clock. Quick score, onside kick. They still have 2 timeouts left.
And that looked like one of those tunnel screens without the blockers.
2:09 to play. Still enough time for Texas Tech to score 10.
Carlos Francis is hurt. What he should have done is just stayed down there and not run the play.
Kingsbury in trouble on his way down.
Almost lost the ball, too.
Slechta got him, slowed him down. He won't get credit. Maybe he'll get a half a sack. Wichman was back there, but Slechta got him first.
That left arm is not moving a lot right now on Cliff Kingsbury.
And you know, we saw him take that hit earlier from the defensive back who jumped on his back on the sideline.
Right, yeah.
And he came up and he was wincing at that point. That was the first time that left arm and wrist, he showed some pain. Cal, UCLA. Just a couple of away, and Cal with an early field goal. In the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. So we're watching number 3 right now, Nebraska. Number 4, UCLA, coming up next. The Pac-10 on Fox Sports Net after the Big 12. Well, this is a tough stretch for Texas Tech. They've got to be hardened regardless of what happens over the next minute 45. They just beat K-State at home. Now they've got matchups still to come with Texas A&M and Oklahoma. Talk about tough stretches.
Sure. Well, there's no such thing as not a tough stretch in the Big 12. You play about 3 teams, you're going to face somebody who's in the top 10 in those 3 weeks.
Kingsbury staying in. Simmons, the backup, will stay on the sideline. Right through the hands of Mickey Peters.
Great job by Cliff Kingsbury being patient, waiting for Mickey Peters to kind of come out of that bundle. And look at the remaining schedule for Texas Tech here, and play at Baylor next week, Texas A&M, Oklahoma State, and then their makeup game to end the season after they play Oklahoma on the 17th against Stephen F. Austin.
They've got to be really encouraged, though, with what has developed over the last couple of weeks. Similar to a school like Missouri that's picked up the pace a little bit. They're now 3-3 as well. 3rd and 20. Pocket held up. Anton Page coming back on it. He makes the good reception, going down to get it and scoop it. It'll bring up 4th and about 7.
And a good job getting half the distance back. Only 1 timeout remaining for Texas Tech. They need to get up and organize. Play clock will start. Starts the officials. Now they've got 25 seconds to get the play in. Nice job getting your hands under the ball by Anton Page and showing it to the official.
So the ball game again for Texas Tech. Trailing by 10. If they give Kingsbury time, 5-man rush. Kingsbury in trouble, and it's all over. They brought the extra man.
Yeah, you've almost just got to throw that one up over the middle where you know Page is gone and give him a chance to make it. But Page does not get away from Gross for the early look. Once the quarterback pulls it back down, because Kingsbury, he's sacked. Looking for his guy on the bottom to come inside. No separation. Good play by Gross. There's the man that he wanted to go to. There's no separation between the jerseys.
So the 3rd sack of the night for the Cornhuskers seals it. Disappointment for Cliff Kingsbury. He poured his heart out there. He gave everything.
I mean, there's a little bit of pain involved, physical pain, but it's the emotional pain.
Finishes the night 33 of 63, 353 yards passing. Came in 5th in the nation in passing yardage. And that'll do it. Maybe one more knee will need to be taken by Crouch. And speaking of Eric Crouch, the complete performance again for a Heisman Trophy candidate. 105 yards rushing. Passing 10 of 22, 3 touchdown tosses, 196 yards. Our Dr. Pepper player of the game.
Now he's got to be careful with these kneel downs. They doesn't lose too much yardage.
You're always on
He's
top of it.
He's got that 300-yard game going on total yards, and you know the guys pick up the newspaper tomorrow. 299 does not sound like 301.
Texas Tech has just used their final timeout.
Last year, Tech loses to Nebraska at home 56-3. I'd say they've closed the gap a little bit.
974 yards of total offense between the two teams. 534 for Nebraska, 440 for Texas Tech.
I think Crouch is now at 299. And there's Solich going, come on, sneak forward.
So Frank Solich going to 8-0 with the victory. And that'll do it. It's official now. Nebraska had a scare. There's no doubt they were tied at 28 at the half. Got the early 10 points in the third quarter that dictated the tempo for the entire second half.
And I think the scare now will be on the injury report that Frank Solich gets early tomorrow morning.
The performance of Eric Crouch, though, one to look back on.
Yeah, we're thinking he's going to run. He's going to run. Well, he rolls out. He runs. He throws. He does just about everything that you would expect for him to do. Big night for Eric Crouch. Big numbers. 4 scores for the Huskies.
So 3 touchdown tosses, a touchdown run. He's done that 13 times in his career since '99. Only one other quarterback is close, and that's Woody Dantzler of Clemson, who has both thrown for 1 and run for 1. And let's head downstairs, check in once again with Eric Clemens. Eric.
All right, Coach Frank Solich. Boy, I tell you what, at this game, Texas Tech Club made you work for everything tonight, but you came out with a victory. What were some of the keys for you?
It was a great ball game. I thought Texas Tech played extremely well. Kingsbury had an excellent game. Our receivers did. They really did an awful lot to move the football and put points on the board. I really felt that we had a lot of guys we had to replace because of injuries. When you look at our starting fullback, our starting left tackle, and the list kind of went on, the guys that came in, I thought, really came through and did a good job. And we were able to just outscore them in this one, but special teams broke down a little bit for us. And but other than that, I thought it was a great football game. Both teams played very hard.
Do you like a game like this in preparation for Oklahoma coming up next week?
Not really.
Not really.
No, we'll play hard no matter what, and it's just a matter of playing well, making sure we execute well, and do a lot of good things. Oklahoma will be another great team. We don't have one that's not going to be a challenge as we go down through the stretch.
Coach, good luck to you from here on out.
Thank you, Eric.
Frank Solich.